You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
The Laverne Police Department is investigating a deadly shooting at an apartment complex. We're going to tell you what led up to that shooting and what else we know about it so far. Continuing coverage on the effect of the recent ransomware attack still being felt by some Ascension hospitals. We're going to have an update as one patient is now threatening to sue.
Waking up this morning a little bit cooler than yesterday. This trend going to take us into the weekend, and that is when storms return. We'll track them in your forecast.
Thank you, Greg, and thank you for joining us here on Fox 17 News this morning. It's a Wednesday morning here, and I am Justin McFarland just after 4 o'clock. We do begin with breaking news this morning as we are working to learn more about a deadly shooting that took place in Laverne yesterday evening. Fox 17 News, Karen Aguilar, live on the scene for us this morning with the latest information. Karen.
Good morning, Justin. We're on our way to show you where that shooting happened. Officials say that the shooting happened in an apartment complex on Murfreesboro Road near Dick Buchanan Street a little before 6 last night. Officials say it all started because of an argument that escalated into a shooting. They say that 3 people were shot, 2 men and 1 woman. Those 2 men dying. One of the men dying at the scene and the other one was taken to Vanderbilt University Medical Center where he later died. The woman was also taken to the same hospital where she's being treated for a gunshot wound but is expected to be okay. We are working to learn more on their identities, and at this time the 4 suspects are in custody. Reporting live in Laverne, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Thank you, Karen. Well, new this morning, the Metro Community Review Board called a special meeting on Tuesday to discuss bombshell accusations made by a former Metro Police lieutenant. Now, this major fallout comes after a retired Metro Police officer sends a whistle-blowing report, 61 pages long. They sent that report to the Community Review Board. Now, the Community Review Board is a board made up of civilians that oversees some of the police department's activity within Metro Nashville. It alleges what the CRB is calling serious accusations of misconduct within Metro Nashville Police Internal Affairs Unit. That is the Office of Professional Accountability. The executive director of the board says that she is rejecting Metro's warning not to discuss the matter publicly at all.
I will not sit in this meeting and pretend like we have a 61-page document that has some very serious and critical issues and not say one word about it. I refuse to do that.
Well, board members were very careful not to go into the specifics about the particular report they were given. However, Fox 17 News did exclusively obtain a portion of the complaint. You can read some of those claims over on our website at fox17.com. The board is now calling on the mayor's office for a third-party investigation into this case. Also, Metro Police released a statement from the police chief, John Drake. It says, in part, the police department has been reviewing and will investigate the complaint. We will look at whether or not our administrative processes for internal investigation and discipline need any refinement. All right, coming up on 404, let's get to Greg Provis standing by with a look at your Wednesday forecast.
Waking up a little bit cooler, Justin, than we were yesterday morning. Not by much, but temperatures here have dialed back about 4 or 5 degrees. We're not going to call it cold by any means, but it'll feel comfortable getting out the door, and another good day with plenty of sunshine. Cooler nights will continue. I believe the Cumberland Plateau, you're going to wake up in the 40s the next 2 mornings. Next weather maker comes in late Friday night into Saturday and Sunday. And there will be a few isolated showers and storms, but right now we're still seeing no indicators of severe weather. 59 degrees current temperature downtown, and we're going to see that number drop a couple more clicks here, but not by too much. And then we'll make our way back to the 60s through 9 a.m. Eventually 70s make their way here through lunchtime. Today will not be as warm as yesterday. We hit 86 degrees yesterday. Today I believe we get right around 80 if we're lucky. There will be outlying areas away from Nashville that get stuck in the upper 70s. A little cooler than we're supposed to be this time of the year, but good for some yard work. Good to get the lawn mowed before the weekend when the rain comes back in. A lot of our grass finally drying out from the previous weekend. 7-day forecast will keep us dry today, tomorrow, and Friday. It really will be Saturday into Sunday when isolated thunderstorms move back in. Look at a little more widespread in nature Monday into Tuesday. If we start seeing any possibility of severe weather, we'll let you know. But right now, run-of-the-mill late spring and early thunderstorms when it comes to summer-type storms with no severe weather.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning at 4:05. Quick look here at I-40 at Donaldson Pike over near the airport. You can see there how traffic is moving along really well. No big problems over there near the airport this morning. We're doing fine. If anything does change, we will get you covered with Steer Clear Traffic. We're live and local with you through 9 o'clock this morning. A morning update after a ransomware attack affected thousands of people nationwide, and the impact is still being felt right here at home. Now, one patient is filing a class action complaint. Yvonne Pratt filed a lawsuit against Ascension St. Thomas individually and on behalf of all others impacted by the cyber attack. It accuses the healthcare system. It says that it failed to, quote, adequately safeguard confidential private information of current and former patients. Now, if you want to read the full complaint, you can go over to our website at fox17.com.
To watch our neighborhood just be beat up.
Well, problem not solved. Hermitage residents say that a major homeless camp that was closed back in January just moved across the street. We're going to hear some of the concerns up next. Plus, we are looking ahead to more deliberations coming up in about 10 minutes. We're going to hear more on the closing arguments in the former President Donald Trump's hush money trial. 4:08 is the time. We are learning more this morning about a Franklin teenager who police say was killed in a shooting on Saturday. Court records have now identified the victim as Lily Basil. She graduated from Page High School on Friday. That shooting happened on Hanson Drive on Saturday. According to court records, the young man right here, 18-year-old Matthew Ruffale, shot Basil with an AR-15 style gun, but claims he did not know the gun was loaded when that deadly shot was fired. Ruffale is now being charged with criminal homicide. In the meantime, Page Hill High School principal released a statement saying in part that Lily was a light and she was kind, sweet, and extremely respectful. Her smile lit up every room she entered. Though she was newer to the Page community, she quickly embraced the Patriot spirit and was a friend to everyone she met. A celebration of life ceremony for Lily is planned for this Friday at the Rolling Hills Church, followed by a sunset memorial at Page High School. In Operation Crime and Justice this morning, Metro Police are searching for 3 suspects in a burglary that happened last week at a Midtown pharmacy. They made off with thousands of dollars worth of prescription medicine. Now, that robbery happened back on May the 19th at the Walgreens on 22nd Avenue North. The suspects arrived around 4 a.m. in a white sedan. 2 of them pried open the door to get in. Police shared these images from a security camera. If you can help them at all with any identification, you're asked to call Metro Police.
It's sad. It's another place that used to be a crown jewel.
In the high cost of homelessness, Hermitage residents say that a big homeless camp closed in January, and it appears to be coming back again, this time just across the street. Now, you may remember that the Hermitage encampment used to be just off of Andrew Jackson Parkway. Some local residents say that Metro did a good job cleaning up this area, but the job is not clearly complete as of yet. Well, the way it goes, the residents and the community activists like Katrina Leach says that people are living in the woods across the street from the property. Meanwhile, the Office of Homeless Services says it provided 39 people with housing options who were from this camp.
It's sad. It's another place that used to be a crown jewel in Hermitage that's now being plagued by people don't want to stay after dark over here.
Fox 17 News reached out to the Metro Council member Jordan Huffman, who represents the area where the camp is located, but we are still waiting for his response. Well, locally, Fox 17 News digging into the high cost of homelessness for about 3 years now. If you want to catch up on the previous reporting, we've got it all on our website, fox17.com. Search the word homeless.
Coming up in the COVID forecast, a little bit cooler this morning, humidity staying away, but things change gradually getting toward the weekend. We'll work you into that weekend forecast coming up in a few.
And steer clear traffic takes us out to I-40 at Donaldson Pike. That is where traffic is flowing along just fine. We're going to tell you about any delays that pop up with steer clear traffic live and local through 9.
After closing arguments in the Trump hush money trial, what happens next? And could the former president face jail time? I'm Atra Al-Nashar with those answers and more coming up. Watch
clean.
.414 is the time. A live look this morning from Clarksville, Tennessee. After a recent round of storms that left behind a lot of debris in some Clarksville neighborhoods, the Clarksville Street Department is offering free debris removal there in the city until June the 17th. Now, pickup services will be available to people within city limits. The Street Department will not pick up tree stumps, okay? Tree limbs from toppled trees or limbs that were trimmed by a commercial company. They should take those away on your own, but other debris that you've got lying around, they will take that off your hands. Well, jury deliberations continue on in the case of the former president of the United States, Donald Trump, and the hush money trial that has been going on for weeks in New York. The jury is now hearing closing arguments. Fox 17 News' Ultra Al-Nashar has more, and you can let us know what you think about this story and the situation by scanning the QR code that's going to appear at the bottom of the screen starting right now.
The Manhattan District Attorney and former President Trump's legal team making their final arguments to a panel of jurors tasked with deciding whether or not he's guilty of 34 felony counts of falsifying business records related to an alleged hush money payment to adult actress Stormy Daniels in order to protect his 2016 campaign. The defense went first, arguing the prosecution did not meet their burden of proof and that Trump is innocent, plain and simple. Trump attorney Todd Blanche also painting the prosecution's star witness, Michael Cohen, as untrustworthy, telling the jury, quote, "Cohen lied to you." Echoing statements we've heard directly from the former president outside the courtroom.
This is a dark day in America. We have a rigged court case that should have never been brought.
The prosecution tells the jury even if they don't believe Cohen, there's still enough evidence to prove a conspiracy and a cover-up. Former U.S. Attorney John Fishwick expects the jury will reach a verdict by the end of this week, but there's no guarantee the end of this case will be cut and dry.
The three choices for the jury this week basically are guilty, not guilty, or we can't decide, Judge.
If there's not a unanimous decision, the judge can step in.
The judge then at that point does what's called an Allen charge, where he says, hey, look, you really do need to make a decision.
If found guilty, the sentencing of a former president would be an exceptionally difficult call for Judge Juan Merchan.
There's another hearing months down the road where each side would put on evidence. Yes, it's possible that he could go to prison or be sentenced to prison in this case. I think it's highly unlikely. The Trump team could say, well, he's not going to report to jail until all of our appeals are exhausted.
After the 10th time Trump violated his gag order, Judge Merchan said he was hesitant to send a former and possibly future president to jail, opting for a fine instead. Now, the judge may feel the same if he's handed a guilty verdict. However, the prosecution could point to Trump's willingness to violate court orders as reason why he should be incarcerated. In Washington, I'm Atra Al-Nashar.
Well, we are switching gears now to the White House, who is now pledging federal support to help victims of the severe storms that swept across many parts of the U.S. over the Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, it was a rough weekend. Those storms killed at least 24 people across 7 different states: Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, Kentucky, North Carolina, and Virginia.
As we speak, FEMA is conducting damage assessments with their state and local counterparts, and tomorrow the FEMA administrator will travel to Arkansas.
Now, that is the White House press secretary there. She also says that President Biden has already spoken directly with the governors of Oklahoma and Texas about this situation. Well, officials also say that nearly 1 million customers are still without power. In the state of Texas, you can see a path right there on the screen, the path of power outages across the country. States like Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri lighting up with tens of thousands of outages. Continuing on over into places like Kentucky and West Virginia that also have lots of people still in the dark.
Yeah, that cleanup going to take a long time for many of our states right around Tennessee, and then unfortunately many of us here in Southern Kentucky still waking up, dealing with the aftermath of the weekend. I can tell you that we have a few more good days, though, to work through it the best we can. Cooler mornings and cool afternoons, which is nice to have. We're in the 50s right now on the right side of your screen. We'll be right near 80 degrees this afternoon. Would not be surprised if most of us end up in the upper 70s. We're rain-free for the rest of this week. Storms will return on Saturday into Sunday. Isolated in nature and no severe weather. So crystal clear look downtown. We have no problems when it comes to visibility, which means we also have no need to move the arrow away from all clear. We're going to keep things pretty comfortable and pretty calm here until we do work toward the weekend itself. Again, Saturday and Sunday, our next weather maker does arrive here across Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky. So this morning, we'll talk about traffic and weather combined together. Calm and cool, sunny, no visibility issues. Another day to grab the sunglasses, just like yesterday. We'll say weather is just a no worry. It's a non-starter when it comes to problems. Try and hit the road. We're also very pleasant for the muggy meter. We're in the 50s this morning and this afternoon for our dew points. That means that we have no humidity to speak of, not even much of a breeze either. That lack of a breeze, though, and lack of rain will kick up pollen counts. So we'll talk about that coming up as we go into our next check of the forecast in about 10 minutes. In the meantime, 80 degrees this afternoon, 79 degrees tomorrow, and then low to middle 80s. We'll creep back up into that territory for Friday through Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday of next week.
Steer clear traffic. Let's get you out and about this morning to the very latest happening on the roads, including north of town I-65 at the I-24 junction. You can see there traffic moving along without issue. We're doing really nice so far out there this morning. No big problems in either direction. No major accidents tying you up out there on the roads, on the interstates at least. We'll continue to follow things, but checking in with Metro Police, they haven't reported a new traffic accident in the last 2 hours or so. So we're doing good. Well, making national headlines, healthcare workers stage what they are calling an informational picket outside of the Mayo Clinic's St. Mary's campus there in Rochester, Minnesota. This happened on Tuesday. Now, the Mayo Clinic is one of the world's most renowned hospital chains. About 1,600 workers with the hospital have begun working without a contract since April the 22nd.
And at this point, we are very frustrated that we have not been making the progress that we know our members deserve. Some of our core demands are surrounding mandatory overtime, which has become incredibly excessive and made it hard on people's families.
Well, the union recently delivered petitions from hundreds of workers, as well as patients and community supporters that call on the Mayo Clinic to act and settle this particular dispute. Coming up, a tip of the hat. We're going to tell you why a mid-state deputy is receiving a national award. And Tennessee has joined a list of states that is suing Live Nation and Ticketmaster. We're going to give you an update on what local musicians are demanding next.
429,000.
Well, happening today, a major interchange is set to open just south of Nashville. The ribbon cutting ceremony for I-65 Buckner Lane is scheduled for 10 o'clock this morning. Now, this is a diverging diamond interchange that will provide direct access from I-65 to Spring Hill. TDOT hopes it will help to ease the traffic in that area. TDOT expects around 17,000 people to use the brand new interchange every day for the next year. Some say that number could rise to 44,000 over the next 20 years. Looking ahead, a mid-state school resource officer is about to receive a national award. Now, the National Association of School Resource Officers and the National Road Safety Foundation announced that they will present their Innovation in the Classroom Award to the Rutherford County Deputy Chad Dotson. Now, the award is given to school resource officers for the use of innovative methods in teaching as well as traffic safety for teenagers. Now, Deputy Dotson will get the award on July the 15th in Phoenix during a national school safety conference.
4:25 our time, taking a look at the pollen count. As I mentioned, it's going to go up throughout the week and then die down toward the weekend. That's what we're seeing the trend as here until we get some more rain. Those pollen counts will go up. So today, a little bit higher than yesterday. Tomorrow, almost identical to today. Allergy medication going to be helpful for you. Saturday and Sunday, we'll see it dip down just a little bit, which is good. But we'll also bring back our chance for a few showers and storms for the upcoming weekend. Here's your forecast for it. 84 degrees will be your temperature on Saturday, 82 on Sunday. A few storms will be out there. It's not going to by any means give us causes for concern when it comes to severe weather or washing out any of those days. Also, rainfall totals will not be adding to any flooding. All good things there, just inconvenient showers and weak thunderstorms. Near average temperatures for the weekend itself. You can always get the Fox 17 free, a Code Red weather app by scanning that QR code. Go to the App Store, the Google Play Store, all good places to go. And every morning when we have good weather and we're not in Code Red, we always show you your dog of the day. Where do you go to submit that? You go to my Facebook page, meteorologist Greg Bobis. You can always follow along on our X pages on Twitter. We can make sure we got you covered there when it comes to breaking weather and severe weather. You get your real-time updates there. Think back to this past weekend. That's a very invaluable resource you guys can have. Coming up as we go into the 4:30 half hour, we'll take a look at how long we stay comfortably cool before the humidity returns. We'll talk about those weekend storms and piece it all together in the 7-day forecast.
Happening right now, the city of Nashville and their music artists are banding together to demand that live event ticketing reform take place. They're asking Congress to pass the Fans First Act. It's to help protect musicians and fans from price manipulation driven by the secondary ticketing platforms. Now, with this push for reform coming from musicians, lawmakers at the state and federal level, among them are the Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn. You're taking a live look, by the way, at Live Nation here in Nashville. They've got one of their headquarters here, Live Nation, of course, in charge of booking venues and selling tickets. They also own Ticketmaster. But Senator Blackburn, along with the Tennessee Attorney General Jonathan Skrmetti, is listening to these complaints from musicians. We will give you updates on this story as it continues on, as a number of states have now sued Live Nation and says that the company is too big and needs to break up. Coming up next, steer clear traffic. This is going to be I-40 near Fessler's Lane over on the east side of town. Traffic moving along pretty well there. We're going to give you the latest updates. Also assessing what's left behind. The damage. Closing part of one of Tennessee's national parks.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Coming up, I'll have the latest information on a shooting that happened in Laverne, leaving 2 people dead and 1 person injured.
Also coming up, Tennessee is joining more than 24 states who are suing Ticketmaster. We're going to tell you more about that.
And the forecast of this morning, waking up, we're cool. We're also going to stay dry for now. We're looking ahead to our next weather maker coming up in your Code Red forecast.
Steer clear traffic takes us to I-40. That's at Fessler's Lane, just east of town. We're going to take a look at some other areas coming up in a few. Thank you so much for joining us here on Fox 17 News this morning, just after 4:30 here on this Wednesday. And I am Justin McFarland. We do want to begin with some breaking news as we are working to learn more about a deadly shooting that happened in Laverne. Took place overnight. Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar live near Laverne this morning with more information about what police are telling us.
Good morning, Justin. Officials say that the shooting happened right here behind me at this apartment complex on Murfreesboro Road in front of Minerva Drive, right at that intersection. It happened a little before 6 last night. We saw yesterday that this whole place was taped off and several officers were on scene. Officials say that the shooting started because of an argument that escalated into that shooting, killing 2 people, 2 men, and sending one of the men was sent to the hospital and the woman was sent to the hospital. And one of those 3 people, that was a guy, he died right here at the scene. The other man died later at Vanderbilt University Medical Center. The woman that was taken to the same hospital was treated with a gunshot wound, but is expected to be okay. We are working on knocking on doors, speaking to eyewitnesses, and we are waiting to confirm the identities of those victims. At this time, Laverne police say that all 4 suspects are in custody. Reporting live in Laverne, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, Karen, thank you so much. In Operation Crime and Justice, Metro Police have arrested a man who was on parole for murder that took place this past Sunday. Let's take a look at the situation here as Metro Police say that Calvin Kinzer admitted that he shot and killed a man in the J.C. Napier area on Sunday. This happened near the intersection of Lewis and Winfrey Street. We told you about it earlier in the week. Kinzer says it was in self-defense because he says the victim shot at him first. Kinzer is now facing several charges related to this murder. News from your community this morning. The Hospital Corporation of America has donated $50,000 to help with tornado relief efforts down in Murray County. You may remember an EF3 tornado hit Murray County back on May the 8th, causing widespread damage and even killed at least one woman there. Hundreds of homes in Spring Hill and Columbia suffered some damage or were just destroyed because of these storms. Again, $50,000 going to help some of those victims from Hospital Corporation.
4:33 our time right now, taking a look at what is new this morning in the forecast. Cooler. We're waking up with temperatures that are on the right side of your screen. All of our currents this morning are about 5 or 6 degrees cooler than the same time yesterday morning. So we have below average morning temperatures and also below average afternoon highs, only by a few degrees. Honestly, very comfortable feeling compared to the 90s that we worked through a couple of weeks ago. Taking a look here, we're staying dry through Friday. Isolated weekend storms do creep back in for both days on Saturday and Sunday, so there's no guaranteed dry day when it comes to making weekend plans. That being said, we also don't have any washouts in the forecast, and right now, watching out for anything that could slow you down this morning, and we don't have anything. We have no visibility problems. We have no rain for us here this morning. We're going to stay all clear when it comes to code red. And you know, last week we had the red lights on most of the week. And this time around, that's just not going to be the case. Even the weekend storms don't look all that bad. 59 degrees right now over downtown Broadway, and we can see a crystal clear sky. Leads to a nice sunny afternoon for us here. Sunrise about 2 hours from right now. Maybe it's a day you want to get out in the garden here and just kind of take care of some things here, but just also note that we have not had rain since those weekend thunderstorms. 68 degrees at 9 a.m., 77 at noon, and 78 degrees at 3 p.m. Why do I mention that we have not had the rain? Well, this might be one of those times where you start trying to make sure the soil is good when it comes to watering all of your plants in your gardens. The best time to do it is going to be right around when the sun begins to rise, but you don't want to do it too late into the morning. After 9 a.m., I would say don't do it at all until close to sunset. 6 and then 7 o'clock tonight. Those are good times. If you do it during the peak heating or the peak sunshine of the day, it could actually end up hurting your plants more than it ends up helping them. And again, muggy meter is down. We're aiming for right near 80 later this afternoon.
Steer clear traffic gets us out to I-24 at Hickory Hollow Parkway. This is down in the Antioch area. Traffic down there moving along pretty well. No big problems so far. No major accidents on the road that could slow you up. We are constantly watching things on the road, trying to give you the latest information that's out there. But right now, we're doing just fine.
I think that it's pretty clear to see who the bad actors are, and it's Live Nation, Ticketmaster, or third-party resellers.
Well, we want to continue our coverage as Nashville musicians are among roughly 250 artists who are asking Congress to mandate reforms to the live ticketing industry. That would include Live Nation. Now, the National Independent Venue Association delivered a letter to Congress. It includes signatures from some big-name performers like Dave Matthews and members of the band Fall Out Boy. They're asking for lawmakers to restore integrity to the ticketing process. Nashville musician Ben De La Cour says that the current system is hurting artists, venues, and fans.
Paycheck to go to a show, to see a big artist, you know, you're probably going to be more hesitant to spend $20 and go see a local band.
Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn is the co-sponsor of the Fans First Act. Senator Blackburn says she wants to safeguard artists as well as their fans and online ticket marketplaces. So we're asking, how much are you willing to pay to see your favorite music artist in concert? You can read some of the results right there. So far, around 280 people have voted. Most of you have said you're willing to pay up to $100. Around 3% of you say you're willing to pay $500 or more to see your favorite music artist. If you want to chime in for this, you can go to our Fox Nashville X page and make that vote. You can also scan that QR code right there on the side of your screen. Just open up the camera, hold it up, it scans, and then it takes you there to the particular site so you can vote. Well, coming up, after the death of a Fort Campbell soldier, multiple agencies are digging into what happened. We've got the latest development in the next few minutes. Also making changes when it comes to abortion trafficking in the state. We've got new information surrounding the governor's latest plan.
Fox 17 News.
4:39 is the time. Live look this morning from the city of Franklin. As the summer kicks off and families hit the road for vacation, the Franklin Police Department is partnering up with the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. They want to remind motorists out there to click it or ticket. From now through June the 2nd, law enforcement says they will be increasing their seatbelt enforcement, so please be safe out there on the roads. News from across the state this morning. Tennessee Governor Bill Lee has now signed the Underage Abortion Trafficking Act into law. Now the measure makes it a crime for any adult to recruit, harbor, or transport a minor to abort a child or obtain abortion chemicals for her without the consent of her parents. Now violators can be charged with a Class A misdemeanor with a mandatory jail time of 11 months and 29 days. That law goes into effect coming up on July the 1st.
And here we are at 4:40, taking a look at your forecast and what to wear just getting out the door here. We're seeing a nice clear start to the day, a little bit cooler, but this afternoon, very similar to yesterday. Open up the wardrobe here. All of these spring and summer clothes, you'll be good to go. No need to worry about any umbrellas or any rain gear. Just treat this day as a nice, comfortable one, almost exactly like yesterday, just a few degrees on the cooler side. Waking up out the door here on this May 29th. We're talking about a Wednesday here in just a few more days until we turn over the calendar. Right now, though, you wouldn't know that. We do not feel all that warm. Really a little lull in the temperatures that will take 60 degrees right leading into the 5 o'clock hour, 59 degrees at 6 o'clock, 61 degrees at 7, and mainly sunny the entire day, which will be great for us here. And any early morning flights, whether you're heading to the airport or picking someone up, we'll talk about the 60s that go all the way through 9, 77 degrees at noon, 78 at 3 p.m. Weather, just like yesterday, not going to mess with us here at the airport. Only 12 delays on the big board, and for this time of the morning, that is fairly typical. So nothing outstanding here when it comes to anything to watch that is out of the ordinary. 59 degrees and not much of a breeze going into the afternoon. We will be in the upper 70s to right near 80. We will keep down the humidity. We've always got to look ahead, though, to the next weather maker that arrives going into the weekend. We'll start talking about that in a few minutes.
Steer clear traffic at 442. Quick look outside. This is going to be I-440 near 21st Avenue. This is over in the Green Hills area. We're doing okay over here. We had a crash over here yesterday that tied up several lanes, but right now we're looking just fine there on I-440 there on the south side. All the drive times are right now in the green across the mid-state. We're going to be checking out other areas of town coming up in the next few minutes. Well, Clarksville police are now working with the Army's Criminal Investigation Division to find out who killed a 23-year-old Army Private First Class Katina Dunez Aguilar. Now, her body was found in a home on Tiny Town Road, but they are not releasing any information about how she died. Right now, more than $50,000 has already been pledged for information leading to an arrest in this particular case. Well, golf champion Scottie Scheffler set to return to Louisville for a court hearing today. We're going to tell you more about that case coming up in a few.
Did an Israeli attack in Rafah cross a red line? I'm Christine Frizzell with a look at why it's brought a new round of Biden blowback.
Fox 17 News.
4:44 is the time. Israel is now facing global condemnation for its continued attacks in Rafah. Fox 17 News, Christine Fazal shows us one particular weekend attack that is really turning a lot of heads around the world and calling for people to stop sending weapons to Israel.
Even in a war filled with horrifying scenes, the horrors of Israel's attack on a refugee camp for displaced people Sunday have been particularly gruesome and disturbing. Those on the ground describing the scene in Rafah as hell on earth. At least 50 killed and 250 injured, according to Gaza's health ministry, in a war where officials say many are now dying of disease and malnutrition.
There's a moral cost to the number of civilians that are dying inside of Gaza. But when you continue to withhold food and aid from the people, that ultimately makes these terrorist causes stronger.
The latest attack bringing blowback to President Biden, who has largely supported Israel, vocally, financially, and militarily.
I made it clear that if they go into Rafah, they haven't gone into Rafah yet. If they go into Rafah, I'm not supplying the weapons that have been used historically to deal with Rafah, to deal with the cities, to deal with that problem.
Progressive lawmakers calling for accountability. Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Congressman Greg Casar both calling for President Biden to suspend military aid to Israel.
We're not going to forget in November, are we?
Others involved in the uncommitted movement to send Biden a message at the ballot box warning his support could cost him his re-election.
The International Court of Justice just ruled that the Israeli government must stop its invasion of Rafah. But President Biden says what's happening in Gaza is not a genocide.
Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib's speech at a conference which featured other speakers linked to the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine, designated by the State Department as a foreign terrorist organization, has drawn criticism from her colleagues. Congressman Mike Lawler posting on X she should be removed from Congress immediately. The U.S. State Department says at this point, the attacks in Rafah do not rise to the level of a full-scale military operation and therefore did not cross a red line. In Washington, I'm Christine Frazau.
Well, making national headlines this morning, the White House has announced plans to try and modernize some of the substantial roadblocks on America's path to clean energy. Now, what we're talking about is our nation's aging electrical infrastructure. Now, the brand new initiative between the federal government and 21 states looks to make major improvements to the overall grid. Now, the goal is to reduce power outages and increase transmission capacity. Now, the lack of capacity is a massive hurdle to getting more clean energy on the grid, according to officials. Weather-related outages are on the rise as severe storms are putting more pressure on what some are calling an outdated infrastructure. All right, let's get to Greg Bobus. He's standing by with a look at your forecast here this morning. It's a Wednesday. Greg, what can people expect?
More of the same, much like yesterday, actually just a little bit cooler. Everything else the same, though. Sunshine, low humidity, getting the day started here with a clear sky. You will notice, though, that it really is a touch cooler. We have temperatures on the right side of your screen that are in the 50s here to start off. And this is the first of a few more cooler nights ahead. Would not be surprised if a few of our temperatures in the Cumberland Plateau overnight tonight and tomorrow night are in the 40s. Next, weather maker always looking ahead toward it. Unfortunately, always trying to find that next chance for inconvenient weather so it doesn't catch you off guard. That will be Saturday into Sunday, the chance for a few thunderstorms. As far as today is concerned, great looking afternoon. Lunchtime forecast 75 degrees at 11, 77 at noon, 78 degrees at 1 p.m. So whether you're just looking out the window, trying to find a patio, or running out, just, maybe get a little walk during lunchtime, comfortable. And nothing to worry about here for dinner time either. So whatever chunk of the day you have where you can get outside, you're going to be in a good place to do it. A completely clear blue sky later on this afternoon. And that's going to continue to keep our temperatures in the 70s. 78 degrees at 5 o'clock, 76 at 6, and 74 degrees at 7 p.m. So temps going to hover in the 70s most of today. Upcoming rain chances. Thursday and Friday, nothing. Saturday and Sunday, There'll be a few to, if not numerous, showers and pop-up thunderstorms without severe weather, and that chance goes down a little bit Monday into Tuesday, which is good news. So those 4 days a little active, but not washouts by any means across the board. Here come our temperatures: 80 degrees today, 79. If it's 79 in Nashville, that means that areas in the upper elevations, this is that time of the year where your forecast is quite different. You'll be in the low 70s going into tomorrow, and then right back into the 80s to take us into the weekend.
Steer clear traffic at 4:50 this morning. Let's get you out to the very latest happening at I-24 Haywood Lane. As you make that drive in from the Antioch area, we're doing really nicely so far. No major tie-ups out there going to and from Nashville as you push in from places like Antioch and Smyrna and Laverne all the way down to Murfreesboro. No big problems yet. Later in the morning, though, we do expect slowdowns. An Ohio billionaire is starting a brand new expedition to the Titanic wreckage. Now, this, of course, is following the deadly submersible implosion that happened last year. Investors are planning to build a sub that can make the underwater trips to see the Titanic shipwreck starting in the year 2026. The submersible from the Ocean Gate, from the company Ocean Gate, imploded last year, killing 5 people. Investors say they hope to show the world that these trips are safe. Well, the top golfer in the world, or at least one of them, Scottie Scheffler, and his case is now returning to Louisville for a hearing that's going to happen today. A spokesperson for the Jefferson County Attorney's Office would not comment on the reason why the office is calling for this hearing. Scheffler faces charges including felony assault on a police officer and even criminal mischief and reckless driving. This all comes from an incident in Louisville that happened earlier this month. Scheffler was trying to enter the Valhalla Golf Club for the second round of the PGA Championship. Louisville police were working a traffic fatality near the entrance of that golf course when they say Scheffler attempted to drive past the scene that they were working on. Scheffler will not attend this particular hearing. For the first time since January, Americans are feeling a little bit better about the economy. That is partly due to the improved perception of the job market. Now, the Confidence Board Consumer Index for the month is climbing to a reading of 102. That is up from 97.5 is where it was in April. The improvement was a pretty broad survey showing the improved attitudes about the economy among Americans of all age groups. This is according to at least one report. Well, Dollar General workers are demanding better pay and safer working conditions. We got more on that story coming up here in the next few minutes. Plus, not forgotten, Fox 17 News continues to track for the search for Sebastian Rogers. He disappeared from his home 3 months ago. High school students, parents, and local police say they are not giving up on the search. We're going to give you what's new about this search as you can follow us on all of our social media accounts.
Breaking news, Morgan & Morgan.
4:55 is the time. Live look there on Lower Broadway this morning. Country music's biggest weekend just around the corner. Some of the hottest names in country music and fans from around the world will gather here in Nashville from June the 6th through the 9th for the 51st annual CMA Fest. Now, CMA Fest will also feature special events and raise awareness for multiple causes. We're going to have complete coverage all weekend long right here on Fox 17. We'll be down there live on Lower Broadway. Well, developing right now, a group of Dollar General workers from Louisiana are going to be joining with local workers this morning outside of the store's annual shareholders meeting right here in Goodlettsville. Now, this protest comes after a week of action nationwide as customers joined workers in at least 9 different states to protest safety violations at Dollar General stores. Now, the rally is set to start at 7 at the corner of Windsor Green Boulevard and Conference Drive there in Goodlettsville. Heavy rain, high wind, and even hail hit sections of Colorado last night. You can take a look here. You can see the Department of Transportation camera showing us the streets accumulated with as much as an inch of hail. It looked like snow at one point. The golf ball size hail came from a thunderstorm that was nearly stationary for more than an hour. The storm prompted the National Weather Service to issue a severe thunderstorm warning for this particular area.
Thankfully, no severe thunderstorm warnings for us anytime in the near future. We're keeping it calm, we're keeping it cool, and humidity is gone, and it's going to stay away from us until we get toward the upcoming weekend. We'll call today 80 degrees. Sunset will be at 7:57, over 14 hours worth of daylight today, and they're all going to be sunny, but leading toward the evening as the sun begins to go down. Maybe you just want to relax outside and enjoy how comfortably beautiful it's going to be. We know that about a month or two from now, the humidity will be through the roof. Our temperatures get very uncomfortable. This is a good night to sit out around the fire. 76 degrees. Find a few minutes just to kind of unplug yourself for a little bit and just enjoy what we have going on. 69 degrees temperature at 8 o'clock, and then temperatures falling to 64 degrees at 10 p.m. The weekend does bring back a little bit of the discomfort and also a few annoyances when it comes to a few thunderstorms on Saturday and also Sunday. No severe weather. Temperatures will get back into the 80s, and I say back into the 80s because most of us are going to be in the upper 70s today, tomorrow, and also into Friday. Taking a look. Again, no severe weather expected. Just plan around it. How do you do that? Fox 17 Code Red Weather app right there on your screen. We talk about it every day if you don't have it yet. And this last weekend was tough. You didn't know when the storms were coming or they just crept up on you. They won't if you have this. You can look at our radar and get severe alerts straight to your county.
Steer clear traffic at 458. Let's take a quick look here at what we're dealing with. I-24 Haywood Lane there, just in the Antioch area. We're doing okay on that drive. Let's take a look over on the west side. This is going to be I-40 at 46th Avenue. There on that west side, we're doing just fine over there as well. If anything does pop up and get in your way, we got you covered with Steer Clear Traffic live and local through 9. Well, it's a first-of-its-kind mission as SpaceX launched a brand new satellite into low Earth orbit. It is aimed at studying the role that clouds and aerosols play in regulating Earth's climate. Now, the launch from Southern California was a joint mission between the European Space Agency and the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency. On board is the Earth Cloud Aerosol and Rotational Explorer satellite there, or EarthCare for short. Scientists hope to use EarthCare's data to try to improve weather forecasts. So it's
promotional consideration for this program provided by Ponce Law.
Well, do you know someone who is a hometown hero in your community? If you do, Fox 17 wants to share their story. Ponce Law and Fox 17 are teaming up to find an award. Local hometown heroes, $1,000. This could be a veteran, a teacher, a coach, a pastor, first responder, anybody you know doing great things in your community. What you want to do is go to the website, poncelaw.com/hometown hero. And leave a small description right there about what this hero is doing for your community. Each month, a hero will be featured right here on Fox 17 News.
Promotional consideration for this program provided by Ponce Law.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Good morning. 5 o'clock on the dot right now, and a deadly shooting at an apartment complex from overnight. Fox 17 News will take you live to Laverne in minutes.
Forecast starting off comfortably cool once again. We're starting to get toward the weekend. We're getting closer and closer up to our next chance for showers and storms that we'll look at coming up in your forecast.
We're also keeping a very close eye on your Steer Clear traffic reports. Right now, we are east of downtown, showing you a live look. You're good to go. Thank you so much for joining us here on Fox 17 News on a Wednesday morning. I'm Erica Glover.
I'm Jennifer Waddell. Glad to have you here. Let's kick off our 5 o'clock hour with the top few stories you'll want to know about here on your Wednesday morning. We begin in Gaza, where the U.S. sent $320 million to build a pier for aid deliveries. It's now damaged and sinking. As a result, no new aid is allowed in right now, and there's no official word on exactly how much time it'll take to get this thing re-anchored off the coast.
We're also talking about politics. The jury in former President Donald Trump's criminal hush money trial will receive their instructions this morning and then start deliberations. Closing arguments wrapped up last night after weeks of this ongoing trial. The jury will consider 34 charges against the former president. If he's found guilty, he could face prison time.
The White House right now pledging to support several states after severe storms swept across the country. Severe weather has killed at least 24 people in states like Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, Kentucky, where we know 5 people died, also North Carolina and Virginia.
Just about 5:02. Greg, I love what you said. Comfortably cool.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, walking outside right now, it's a little bit cooler than yesterday morning, even when we have temperatures that are in the 50s for everyone, and we'll stay in the 50s and 60s till about 9 o'clock this morning, and then right into the 70s for most of today. About a 1 to 2 hour time frame where we could hit the 80-degree mark, but most of us will be in the 70s. We're rain-free for the rest of this week. Storms will return on Saturday. They will not be like last weekend's storms, not even close to it. It will not rain as often. It will not be as heavy, and we're not worried about severe weather. Taking a look here at not just the big 3 things to know to lead us through the rest of this week, but also we're seeing the sun. We're seeing our first light here of the day starting to beam off of our downtown skyscrapers. Taking a look here at a very sunny day from start to finish. We'll go all clear when it comes to code red. Just the weekend thunderstorm, I wouldn't even say threat, just chance that will be there for us. Many dry hours built into Saturday and Sunday. Looking at how weather could influence traffic, it's not going to. Calm and cool. Sunshine just like yesterday. No visibility issues this time. We had areas of fog in the Cumberland Plateau yesterday, not the case today. Grab the sunglasses. You're worry-free when it comes to the forecast. Downtown, this is not rain. This is their daily hosing down of Lower Broadway. 59 degrees. We are waking up relatively cool and clear. And for lunchtime later on today, you can expect the temperatures to hover in the upper 70s right around noon through 1 p.m. with the sunshine taking over the forecast for us here. It continues to take over tomorrow, only a high of 79. Then back into the 80s, 83 on Friday, and the lower 80s on Saturday and Sunday for the weekend itself.
Greg, thank you so much. And he had some good advice. Definitely have your sunglasses for later this morning. All the sunshine, no rain. We love that. Let's check in on your steer clear traffic and take you near the airport. Here is a live look, I-40 at Donaldson Pike, and you can see for yourself no issues at hand. Typically an area where there is some traffic, but right now this spot is looking good.
Breaking news right now out of Laverne, where 2 people are dead after a shooting at an apartment complex.
Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar is joining us live from Murfreesboro Road, giving us another update.
Good morning. I just spoke to a couple of people who are walking home from work, and they tell me that they see crime around here all the time and they want it to stop. Officials say that last night's shooting happened right here behind me at this apartment complex on Murfreesboro Road near Minerva Drive, that intersection, a little before 6. We saw this whole area taped off and multiple officers were on scene. They say that it all started because of an argument that escalated into a shooting. Officials saying that 3 people were shot as a result, 2 men and 1 woman. They say that a 23-year-old man was shot right here behind me, and a 39-year-old man was also shot and taken to Vanderbilt University Medical Center, where he later died. Officials say that the 3rd victim was a 45-year-old woman who was taken to the same hospital, was treated for a gunshot wound, but is expected to be okay. I reached out to Laverne Police to find out the identities of the victims and learn more about the circumstances surrounding what happened. We haven't heard back yet. We're also working on speaking to some neighbors to get some eyewitness accounts of what happened. And at this time, Laverne Police say that all 4 suspects are in custody. Reporting live in Laverne, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Karen, thank you. Right now, we also have a map letting you know more about the Ascension St. Thomas hack and then the lawsuits that have come as a result of this.
Yes, so the morning update here is after that ransomware attack, we now have a woman who is filing a class action lawsuit against Ascension St. Thomas Hospital System. Her name is Yvonne Pratt. She says she filed that lawsuit accusing the system of failing to, quote, adequately safeguard confidential private information of current and former patients. If you'd like to read the full complaint about this story, we've got it posted now over at fox17.com.
Coming up, tense moments unfolded during a community review board meeting. Details on the bombshell accusations made by a former Nashville police lieutenant.
To watch our neighborhood just be beat up.
Problem is not solved, especially in Hermitage when it comes to a homeless encampment. Neighbors there telling Fox 17 News the only thing that happened was it moved across the street and they're fed up. We're going to hear more of their concerns next. Good morning and welcome back into Fox 17 News this morning on this Wednesday. New this morning, the Metro Community Review Board is discussing several hot topics. In fact, they called a special meeting just yesterday to talk about accusations that are now being made by a former Nashville police lieutenant against the department. So the fallout comes after a retired Metro police officer sent a whistleblowing 61-page document to the Community Review Board. In case you're not familiar, the Community Review Board is essentially a watchdog agency that polices the police. This document alleges what the Community Review Board is calling serious allegations of misconduct within Metro PD's Internal Affairs Unit, the Office of Professional Accountability. Executive Director Jill Fitchard says she is rejecting Metro Legal's warning to not talk about the matter publicly. Let's listen.
I will not sit in this meeting and pretend like we have a 61-page document that has some very serious and critical issues and not say one word about it. I refuse to do that.
All right, so that was Fitcher there, who was on Metro Council. CRB members did not go into specifics about the claims in this emergency meeting yesterday. However, Fox 17 News exclusively obtained a portion of the complaint, and you can read the claims right now at fox17.com. Now, the board also calling on the mayor's office for a third-party independent investigation, and Metro Police did release a statement straight from Police Chief John Drake in regards to all of this. It reads in part, the police department has been reviewing and will investigate the complaint. We will look at whether our administrative processes for internal investigation and discipline need any refinement. This is going to be a big story we continue to follow. Stay tuned.
It's sad. It's another place that used to be a crown jewel.
In the high cost of homelessness, Hermitage residents say the homeless camp that closed in January now appears to be coming back once again. This time, though, across the street. Now, you may remember the Hermitage encampment used to be right off of Andrew Jackson Parkway. Showing you some video right behind us here. Some local residents say Metro did a good job cleaning up the area, but the job is clearly not complete. And right now, one resident and community member, Katrina Leach, says people are living in the woods across the street. Meanwhile, the Office of Homeless Services says it provided 39 people with housing options from this very camp.
It's sad. It's another place that used to be a crown jewel in Hermitage that's now being plagued by people don't want to stay after dark over here.
Yeah, so she is working to get some answers. And Fox 17 News, we reached out to Metro Council member Jordan Huffman, who represents this area where the new camp is located. But right now, we're still waiting for his response. And of course, Fox 17 News digging into the high cost of homelessness for about 3 years now. If you would like to catch up on our previous reporting, visit fox17.com and search homeless.
Coming up in your forecast, we'll work through the end of a great week here. Right now, we're at 56 degrees. We do crank the heat back up a little bit for the weekend and bring back a few storm chances we'll talk about in just a couple minutes from right now.
And steer clear traffic looking great to kick off your hump day. This is a live look I-40 at Donaldson Pike, right near Nashville International Airport. Smooth sailing.
And the magnitude of this week's deadly storms still being realized. We're going to take a new look at areas impacted by the violent weather.
Say my word, I'll be wordy.
5:14 is the time, and right now we are showing you a live look from Clarksville. So after recent rounds of storms that left behind storm debris in Clarksville neighborhoods, we do want to make sure you're aware that the Clarksville Street Department is offering free debris removal until the 17th of June. And that pickup service is going to be available to all the residents who are living within city limits. By the way, the Street Department says they're not going to pick up tree stumps, tree limbs from toppled trees, or the limbs trimmed by a commercial company. So do keep that in mind. We'll have some more updates at fox17.com.
The death toll continues to rise from the storms that ripped across America's heartland over the weekend. And of course, we felt that right here at home in southern Kentucky. Here's Fox Weather correspondent Max Gordon with the latest.
It's a lot of loss, big loss.
Folks throughout the central U.S. are assessing the damage Tuesday after a series of deadly storms and tornadoes rolled through over the holiday weekend, destroying hundreds of homes and businesses across a number of states, including Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Kentucky. But the hardest hit was Texas, where one tornado killed at least 7 people and injured 100 more. And here in the town of Valley View, residents are dealing with near total devastation.
I have never seen something like this. It was terrible. I couldn't conceive the strength that it had.
Overall, at least 23 people died in these storms. Some are dealing with the loss of multiple family members. People saying the wind and rain came on quickly, leaving them little time to evacuate.
I was texting my sister, said it was going to be okay. Nothing's going to happen. And then we lost signal. I didn't hear from them again.
And that was the last time you spoke?
That was the last time I spoke to her.
Officials are now trying to clear the debris and get life back to normal, but it won't be easy. Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders saying bluntly that this is not going to be a fast process. And while FEMA surveys the damage, Texas Governor Greg Abbott says his office is ready to get to work.
They need your prayers. They need your support. And God willing, we will help them rebuild their lives as quickly as possible.
Folks here in northern Texas are still dealing with severe weather, and forecasters say that more rain is expected throughout the rest of the week. In Sanger, Texas, Max Gordon, Fox Weather.
5:17 is the time. We're checking in on the Wednesday forecast.
Erica.
Oh my gosh.
What day is it?
Hump day. Go ahead, Jen.
Hump day.
That's all I know from here. I mean, great looking forecast here for you. We have made it across the hump. We're getting there. Nothing to worry about when it comes to the forecast all the way through Friday. Road conditions finally are dry across the board. What does that mean? Maybe you are a biker, but you've been a little skeptical to get out on the bike here because of the puddles and the standing water we had. That's not going to be the case here. I would suggest early morning hours or maybe that evening ride, because we'll get up near 80 degrees during the afternoon. Now, that's not hot, but the sun will be beating down on us all day, so keep that in mind. The sun will still be warm for us, and we can still get a sunburn very quickly, even when it's not that hot outside. So wash or wait. I'd say go for it. Today, tomorrow, and even Friday. Next rain chance not until Saturday into Sunday. Great pattern continues and continues to be ahead of us all the way for the rest of this week. Moving forward, though, things will change toward the weekend, so enjoy that time outside. 68 degrees at 9 a.m., 77 degrees at noon, and 78 degrees at 3 p.m. So even if you're just going to, be in the backyard, whether you're just with the kids, doing a little yard work, everything is looking good. Humidity is low. Pollen counts are up a touch compared to yesterday, but it's nowhere near where it was earlier in the month, which is good news. 80 degrees your temperature this afternoon. Right now on the right side of your screen, we're a little bit cooler than yesterday morning, starting off in the 50s. We'll have a sunset of 7:57. We get 14 hours of daylight later on today. We're going to have sun that entire time. 80 degrees will be your temperature later on this afternoon. 79 degrees at your high temperature for your Thursday. Now, what that means is that if Nashville is going to be at 79, think about going out toward the Cumberland Plateau where it's usually a little bit cooler. You folks will be in the low to middle 70s tomorrow. Nighttime temps stay in the 50s until this weekend. Storm chances isolated at best. Hit and miss storms take us Saturday into Sunday. None of them will be severe.
Steer clear traffic gets us out to I-65 at Trinity Lane, just north of downtown. Traffic there in that location moving along really nicely. No big problems in either direction right now. We're doing pretty well on the interstates. No major crashes here that could slow you up as we start to enter the summer driving season across the midstate here. I want to take a look at your latest drive times. Mount Juliet coming in at 26 minutes. Murfreesboro, 50 minutes, 27 minutes in from Hendersonville. We'll continue to follow things throughout the morning.
Justin, thank you. 5:19 right now. If you plan on heading to the beach in Florida this summer, pay attention in the water. New report talking about Florida as a destination for not just travelers, but for sharks.
Yeah, the Florida Museum of Natural Resources, Natural History, I should say, sharing its international shark attack file, which shows most unprovoked shark attacks in the world happen in the state, specifically And say it correctly for me.
Volusia.
Volusia County in Florida. In Volusia, there have been 351 attacks recorded since 1882. Brevard County is the second, and then Palm Beach comes in third. The most common months for attacks typically occur are July, August, and October.
Well, happening right now, taking a live look back here at home outside of Live Nation. Nashville artists and musicians standing together to demand that live event ticketing reform happens. They're demanding that Congress pass the Fans First Act, which is supposed to help protect musicians and fans from price manipulation, gouging, bot pricing, all driven up then by secondary ticketing platforms. In case you missed it earlier this week, we had the story on Monday. Lawmakers at the state and federal level are also joining in, including Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn and our Tennessee Attorney General Jonathan Skrmetti. So in case you didn't know, we have this Live Nation office headquarters right here in Nashville. Live Nation operates Ticketmaster. We will have live updates for you through 9 a.m.
Hendersonville city leaders say their next budget will deliver on a huge promise to do something about the roads in the city. The budget is also hoping to help fire and keep police officers. Justin McFarland is explaining.
Looking ahead right now, Metro Police are revealing some new information after an argument leads to a deadly shooting. We'll have a live update in minutes.
5:23 is the time. Well, new this morning, it is budget season across the state of Tennessee. What does that mean? This is the time where a lot of cities get together and figure out exactly how they're going to spend your tax dollars within whatever city you may be living in at this particular moment. Hendersonville is no exception. They have gathered to try to figure out how they're going to divide millions of dollars. This year in particular, they say they're focused on something that people have complained about for a very long time, and that is the road conditions there in Hendersonville.
This budget allocates $7.3 million for street paving. That is the largest appropriation that I can tell in the history of this city for paving. That's what the people want, and that's what we're delivering.
Now, the other thing they were focused on is hiring and keeping police officers there in Hendersonville. They are down 10 officers, and they are trying to sweeten the pot for those officers to be hired and stay with the force. We're going to tell you about the brand new sign-on bonus that they have approved coming up in a few.
And here we are, 5:25, taking a look at your forecast. And one of the big things this time of the year is always the allergies. What is it going to be today? Am I using just the regular dose? Am I making sure I'm good to go when it comes to the inhaler? All the 9 yards. Well, I will tell you today and tomorrow have gone up a little bit compared to yesterday. We've been rain-free for about 48 hours, and that allows the pollen to start getting back up into the air. Good news is, though, it's not windy. So we're not seeing the pollen get too aggressive. And once the rain returns Friday night into Saturday and Sunday, it's not widespread rain. A few showers and storms here and there, but it will help kick down a little bit of the pollen. So not as high as earlier in the month, but definitely still noticeable today and tomorrow. And maybe you've just been itching to get back outside after all the storms we had on and off last week, and you're trying to make a tea time for today. Well, it's a good one for it. 68 degrees at 9 o'clock, 77. Maybe you're shooting 18 early afternoon. The sun is going to be very dominant. Make sure sunscreen, extra hydration. You start feeling thirsty, even only in the upper 70s. A little extra water isn't going to hurt. 78 degrees at 3 p.m. So that late round of golf, maybe you want to shoot a quick 9 after work later on today before the sun goes down around 7:30ish. You're going to be good to go. This weekend, a little different. Few storms, 84 degrees on Saturday, 82 on Sunday. So no big deal with temperature there, but also no severe weather, not raining the entire time, and temperature near average. Normal high for this time of the year is 83 degrees.
Up next, we've got the latest with steer clear traffic, and that includes that drive on I-40 near Spence Lane, just east of downtown. Moving along pretty well. We've got the very latest on other things that we're watching on the roads. Plus, we are assessing what's left behind, the damage on closing part of one of Tennessee's national parks.
Due to the heat. You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Coming up, I have the latest information on a deadly shooting that happened in Laverne. Plus, hear what a neighbor has to say about the victims.
The sun coming up here for us this morning. We are carefree for the time being. Got to look ahead with the next inconvenient weather that could impact your upcoming weekend in your forecast.
Steer clear traffic looking good on I-40 near Fester's Lane, just east of downtown. We're going to tell you about other things we're following.
We're going to start, though, by saying thank you for joining us here on a Wednesday morning. For Fox 17 News, I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. Let's get straight to the breaking news we're following this morning out of Laverne, where 2 people have died in the shooting at an apartment complex happening just off Murfreesboro Road.
Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar joining us live with more updates from the area. And I know, Karen, you had the opportunity to speak with folks who live in this area.
Yes, I did. I spoke to a neighbor who says that he knew 2 of the victims. He tells me that one of the victims, who was a younger man, police say was 23 years old and died right here in this parking lot behind me. And he tells me that that younger man had a baby on the way and was planning to move out the day he died. He also tells me that he knows the second victim, who police say is 39 years old and was shot right here and was taken to Vanderbilt University Medical Center, where he later died. He tells me that that man also left behind children. He said it's a very unfortunate situation and doesn't want to go on camera because of his safety and also out of respect for the victims. I reached out to Laverne Police to find out more details on who the victims were and also the circumstances surrounding this incident. But to explain a little bit about what happened last night, officials say that the shooting happened at this apartment complex right here behind me. We saw that this area was taped off and multiple officers were on scene right here on Murfreesboro Road near Minerva Drive a little before 6. As I mentioned, those 2 victims did die, and there was a third victim who police say was a 45-year-old woman who was also taken to Vanderbilt University Medical Center, but she's expected to be okay. Police say at this time the 4 suspects are in custody. Reporting live in Laverne, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, Kieran, thank you for that breaking news update. Right now, though, in Operation Crime and Justice, Metro Police arresting a man on parole for a deadly shooting that happened on Sunday. So now we're getting some more updates. Police say this man, Calvin Kinzer, admitted to shooting and killing a man in the Napier area on Sunday. Now, this happened near the intersection of Lewis and Winfrey Street. But Kinzer says it was self-defense because he says the victim shot at him first. Now Kinzer faces several charges related to this killing.
Now switching gears, it is just about 5:32 right now. Let's talk weather. Greg, last night was beautiful.
It really was.
We were outside all afternoon. We even got the fire pit going and did s'mores before bed last night.
You listened to my bonfire forecast.
We did.
That makes me happy inside.
It was amazing.
And today's going to be almost just like that, so take Jen's advice. Maybe you didn't get outside yesterday. This evening will almost be better than yesterday evening because it'll be a little bit cooler. That's what's new this morning. Below average highs and lows the next 2-3 days. I don't mean like aggressively cold, just cooler. We'll be in the 50s again the next few nights. The afternoons will be in the upper 70s to right near 80. So what else is new this morning? We're staying dry through Friday, all the way through the overnight it's looking like now. A few isolated weekend storms. We're all clear for code red. We're going to keep it there the entire week, which is good. Everything will look beautiful. It will feel good. A couple extra sniffles today. That's pretty much it. 59 degrees right now. Nothing happening over Lower Broadway, but we know that's going to change quickly here in the next 48 hours. Taking a look at our hour-by-hour breakdown, we'll stay in the 60s all the way through 9 o'clock. Then we'll be in the 70s most of today. Between 2 and 3 o'clock, a chance we hit 80 degrees in the Nashville area. Most of us, though, will be comfortably in the upper 70s.
Steer clear traffic gets us out to I-40 at Fester's Lane, just east of downtown Nashville. We are doing just fine as you get out there this morning. No major holdups in either direction. Exactly what we like to see for 5:30 in the morning. So you got a nice smooth drive making that drive in from Donaldson, from Mount Juliet, from places like that, Wilson County. You're doing okay. Here's your overall drive times right now. Kingston Springs at 26 minutes, Murfreesboro at 50 minutes, Franklin down to 27 minutes in from the south side. Keep in mind, the summer driving season has kicked in. A lot of folks go on vacation this week. Schools are starting to be out. So the driving patterns across Middle Tennessee are changing.
Justin, thank you. Hey, speaking of traffic, we should see things ease up south of Nashville as a new interchange is set to open today.
A ribbon-cutting ceremony for the I-65 Buckner Lane interchange set for today at 10 o'clock this morning. The diverging Diamond interchange is going to provide direct access from I-65 to Spring Hill. TDOT does hope that it's going to ease traffic in the area. They also expect around 17,000 people to use the new interchange every single day for the next year. They say that number, though, could increase to 44,000 over the next 20 years.
I think that it's pretty clear to see who the bad actors are, and it's Live Nation, Ticketmaster, third-party resellers.
And continuing the discussion this morning, as Nashville musicians are among about 250 artists asking Congress to mandate reforms to the live event ticketing industry. Now, we first brought you this as Breaking News Monday when we learned about all of the movement here in the lawsuits. The National Independent Venue Association delivering a letter to Congress, which includes the signatures of big name performers. Think Dave Matthews, Fall Out Boy, just to name a couple. They're asking lawmakers to restore integrity
Ticketmaster and Live Nation
to the ticketing process. One Nashville musician telling Fox 17 News the way the system is working right now is not working. It's hurting artists and fans.
Paycheck to go to a show, to see a big artist, you know, you're probably going to be more hesitant to spend $20 and go see a local band.
Well, Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn is also co-sponsor of the Fans First Act. Blackburn says she wants to safeguard artists and their fans in the online ticket marketplace.
Still to come on Fox 17 News this morning, after the death of a Fort Campbell soldier, several groups are now digging into what happened, working to get answers. Those new developments in minutes.
And quick reminder, Fox 17 News, your only local station with traffic and weather updates live from 4 all the way up until 9. When everyone else at 7 o'clock goes network, we stay live and local just for you.
Good morning and welcome into Fox 17 News this morning. Time right now 5:38. Live look in Franklin as summer kicks off and everybody's hitting the road for vacation. The Franklin Police Department teaming up with the Tennessee Highway Safety Office just to remind you to buckle up. They've got a whole campaign they call Click It or Ticket. From now through June 2nd, law enforcement will be increasing their observation as to whether you're wearing a seatbelt. So just a heads up there. Pretty live look in Franklin this morning, traffic flowing nicely.
Well, new this Wednesday morning, Governor Bill Lee signing a bill requiring some domestic violence suspects to wear GPS monitoring devices. Now, this particular bill was filed back in January and makes GPS monitoring a condition of bail for certain domestic violence and stalking charges.
GPS providers would send an alert to a victim's cell phone if that person is nearby. So they've got a way to connect the two. Governor Lee signing that bill into law just yesterday. It goes into effect July 1st.
We're going to go ahead and check in with our Code Red meteorologist this Wednesday morning.
Yeah, we're starting off good here. We have the sun that's already come up. Blue sky going to be the thing here and the theme for us for the rest of this week. As far as what to wear, well, whatever you had going on yesterday, very similar clothing will be good. Shoes, you don't need to worry about anything when it comes to any more puddles that are out there for most of us here, at least when it comes to the pavement. So that's all good to go. Sun hat, not too windy. Sunglasses, you want that no matter what. And then everything else, just summer feels. It's a little bit cool right now, so maybe a little cover up, getting out the door, and then the afternoon, t-shirt, you'll be fine. You'll be good to go. Out the door this morning, temperatures are a little, I wouldn't say brisk, but a little crisp with the fact we have no humidity. Here we are on May 29th, getting out the door to temperatures that are going to continue to be in the upper 50s and low 60s all the way through 7 o'clock. 64 degrees at 8 a.m. We are on the way to right near 80 this afternoon. We'll see how long this cooling trend lasts coming up in the next check of your forecast.
All right, Greg, thank you very much. Clarksville police tell Fox 17 News they are working with the Army's Criminal Investigation Division to find out who killed 23-year-old Army Private First Class Katia Duenas Aguilar.
Her body was discovered at a home over on Tiny Town Road, but they're not releasing any kind of information about how she died. Right now, though, we do know more than $50,000 has already been pledged for more information leading to an arrest in this case. We also have more details on fox17.com.
At 541, we've got steer clear traffic right now. I-40 at the I-24 junction. Little something going on here over on the shoulder east of downtown. We'll check in with Justin McFarland for a full report in minutes.
And mosquito season is certainly here. You probably already know that. What experts say you can do to avoid getting those pesky mosquito bites.
Locations.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. 544 is the time. Mosquito season ramping up. Health experts say plenty you can do to avoid having them buzzing around your house. Plus, let's not forget about some of those mosquito-borne diseases like West Nile. Fox News' Ted Lindner with a scoop this morning.
As more and more people flock outdoors to soak up the warmer weather,
I'm tired of the cold. I'm ready to just be out in the sun.
So are loads of pesky mosquitoes.
The deadliest animal on the planet is the mosquito.
But while mosquito bites can cause itchy inflammation, they can also trigger worse health problems if the insect was carrying viruses.
The mosquito is known to transmit diseases like Zika, yellow fever, chikungunya, and dengue.
Symptoms of many mosquito-borne diseases can include high fevers, head and body aches, nausea, rashes, and more. Besides wearing pants and long-sleeve shirts and not going out after dusk, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says
the easiest way to prevent being infected with a mosquito-borne disease is to wear an effective repellent when you're outdoors.
Officials recommend EPA-registered products. Adding bug sprays with DEET and picaridin can provide lasting protection.
We have not seen where mosquitoes are developing tolerance to repellents.
On a larger level, state and local officials around the country are starting to spray and set up mosquito traps. This comes as the CDC is ramping up efforts to monitor if the bloodsuckers are building up resistance to certain insecticides.
What we've done is develop tools to help detect when that resistance might be occurring, and then we can provide recommendations on when to stop using those and when to use other products.
Meanwhile, to keep pests away from your yard, get rid of any containers that can harbor standing water, the perfect mosquito breeding ground. Ted Lindner, Fox News.
Woo. All right. I like how he said the bloodsuckers. Ted Lindner, that's how I feel about him too. Hey, let's take a look at something. This is interesting. Did you know that there is an effort worldwide to track mosquito activity and behavior? We're looking at it now. This is the Global Mosquito Observation Dashboard. This is a live interactive map that helps scientists track mosquito activity. So what we're doing here is zooming into Tennessee and the Nashville area. If you look on your screen, you're going to see different dots that pop up showing you different groups that are tracking activity. So what we can see here, if we look over to the right side of your screen, we can see the numbers of mosquitoes that are being tracked as of right now in Tennessee. The good news, I think, when we look at this map is you can see it's not a high level activity yet, but just wait.
Okay, this number does not feel like what my neighborhood represents.
Really?
When I go outside, I'm attacked.
I always joke, if you're looking for a good mosquito repellent, just call me.
Really?
Because for whatever reason, I just feel like they'll all come to me and then they'll leave you alone.
Well, there's one
that
option.
Way?
I mean,
I don't know. I just feel like I'm a magnet for mosquitoes. I don't know why. I've heard it has something to do with the oxygen.
Your oxygen?
Yeah, like oxygen levels.
What?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to have to look that up.
The more you learn here on a Wednesday morning.
We're going to have to get a curious question going, Greg.
Oh, we will about an hour from right now. You know we will. Take a look right now. Also, mosquitoes and dogs. Make sure your dogs are up to date on heartworm medication, because mosquitoes can actually transfer heartworm from dog to dog if they bite two different dogs. Keep that in mind. It's a little known thing here, but it's not common, but it can happen here. And this is our dog of the day, Picasso. Take a look. Yeah, that big boy, that St. Bernard right there, sent in by Joanne and Jim Gordon from White House. Beautiful picture, beautiful dog, beautiful day. Good for a dog walk. Temperature's going to stay in the 50s and 60s all the way through 9 o'clock. We're getting 3 or 4 degrees cooler than we were at the same time yesterday morning. This afternoon, we're going to hover in the upper 70s to right near 80. Tons of sunshine. Keep that in mind. Little extra hydration for everyone, including the four-legged friends. How do you get your dogs to us? Very simple. It's just how you've been doing it the last year and a half. Go to my Facebook page. You'll find that post right there pinned to the top. And you just submit your dog. You can give us a little story if you'd like to. Or you can just tell us where you're from, and you can see your dog right here on Fox 17 News this morning. beautiful skyline, and beautiful day ahead. Temperatures are going to be good, and also weather's going to cooperate here back home. So at the airport at BNA, temperature going to be at 77 degrees at noon, 78 degrees at 3 p.m. Now, it does not mean that every flight's going to be perfect. We have 12 flight delays right now on the big board and 1 cancellation. Look at the destination you're going to, and a lot of times those planes will fly to and from the same location. So track your plane number, and also just track what the weather's like where you're heading. That'll help you out. 59 degrees right now at the airport on our way to that 80-degree high. In Nashville, 79 tomorrow, and then low 80s take us into the weekend. Speaking of which, that's our next storm chance we'll talk about in about 5 minutes.
Steer clear traffic gets us out and about this morning. Let's go to I-40 at I-24 at the junction. As you make that drive into town from the east side, we do have a disabled tractor trailer there on the shoulder of the road. One other car that is also there causing a bit of a slowdown as you make that drive in from the east side. You can see a couple of people up walking around there. You can get past this. It is not causing major delays, just something to be aware of so you can make sure that everyone remains safe as you get out on the roads. Other areas down 24 Hickory Hollow Parkway. Couldn't ask for better traffic here at 5:49 in the morning. We're looking good. We'll continue to watch things for you.
Justin, thank you. Hey, get this. There is an Ohio billionaire that is starting a new expedition to the Titanic wreckage. This comes after the deadly Ocean Gate implosion that happened last year.
Fascinating here. They're going to give this another go. Real estate investor Larry Connor says he's planning to build a submersible with Triton submarines that can make underwater trips to see the Titanic shipwreck. A Wall Street Journal report says Connor came up with this idea just days after that submersible from Ocean Gate imploded last year, killing 5 people. I still will never get over that story.
No.
I remember when we first brought that to you. Connor, the investor, says he hopes to show the world that the trips can be safe. The sub is expected to be ready for an expedition in 2026. But the question is,
who's getting on there?
Would you go?
No.
Knowing what happened to the previous submersible?
Absolutely not.
I can't imagine.
Well, in consumer news right now, for the first time since January, there are some economists that say Americans are feeling better about our economy, and that is partially due to improved perceptions of the job market.
Perceptions of the job market, okay? There is a confidence board index for this month that climbed to a reading of 102, up from 97.5. Now that numbers might not mean a whole lot to you or to us, but overall the improvement said to be broad, with this survey showing improved attitudes about the economy among a small group of Americans, again, based on the perception of the job market. I think if we look at the economy and you were to ask everyday folks, how are you feeling? You know, we're all thinking it's a tight squeeze. But this is specifically about the workforce.
I'm still waiting for grocery prices to go down.
All right.
Okay.
Right.
Well, thank you for waking up with Fox 17 News this Wednesday morning. Right now, we're showing you a live look at the Nashville skyline. Low humidity. That sounds fantastic.
Yes.
Plenty of sunshine.
Yes.
Get out there and enjoy this Wednesday if you can.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for waking up with us here on Fox 17 News this morning. What a gorgeous start to this Wednesday. I would encourage you at any point during the day to get outside, get some fresh air, get a little vitamin D.
You inspired me to perhaps make some s'mores later today.
Go for it.
Yeah.
We did it last night. It was a perfect night. Heck, we might do it again tonight. Join us here for Fox 17 News this morning as we are live and local through 9 a.m. Here's a story that'll probably have you talking and maybe thinking. A new study suggests that feeding babies peanut products early on, so we're talking for babies, could prevent them from having allergies overall later in life.
I'm curious what some parents think about this. Well, the study finds children under the age of 5 who eat peanut products are 71% less likely to be allergic to peanuts as teenagers. The study backs up guidance from the American Academy of Pediatrics that says delaying allergenic foods for young children does not necessarily prevent diseases. The National Institutes of Health reporting about 2% of children in the U.S. do have some sort of peanut allergy.
Yeah, and this study, because I know you as a new mom and me having teenagers now, going back to more than a decade ago when I had the kids, I was reading studies about this, and small amounts. Like, they're not saying, you know, give your 1-year-old a
full spoon
of peanut butter.
No.
But they say, you know, just a little bit over time when they're little.
That's what I did.
In some cases can help. Hey, take a look at this. People in New York flocking to the streets to witness Manhattan-henge. All right, so think Stonehenge, but Manhattan. Sunset aligning with the city's street grid to give this really beautiful shot. Now, this phenomenon happens twice a year and does, as you might imagine, attract photographers and people from all over.
People in the city will still be able to witness a variation, though, of this phenomenon today, and it's going to happen again on July 12th and the 13th. So maybe you're planning your trip to this area. Maybe you want to surround your trip around this particular event.
Manhattan-henge.
It does look pretty cool.
That's funny. Stonehenge is one of those places I'd like to go see. That's kind of a bucket list.
Stonehenge would be awesome. I would never plan my trip around Manhattan-henge, though, because you know it would be cloudy if I went there.
Right.
Listen.
You know it would be cloudy if I went there. 100%.
Or smoggy.
And Jenna, what a s'more. You've done this to me now. So we're going to give you a bonfire forecast for tonight. Maybe add a little peanut butter to it. Hey, why not, right? 76 degrees, your temperature at 6 p.m. It will be a beautiful evening again. And we just keep seeing those temperatures drop. A comfortably cool 69 degrees, your temperature at 8 o'clock. And then we'll continue to fall into the middle 60s and eventually 50s in the hours to come. This is 10 p.m. At 64. We have no rain, barely a cloud in the sky. It'll be a beautiful sunrise. Well, we had that already. Beautiful sunset for us. A little more cloud cover and a little more unsettled for the weekend. A few storms out there both days. Now, I want to preface that by also saying that we have no severe weather. It will not be rain like we had last weekend. Many dry hours and near average temperatures. You'll notice the temps climb back into the middle 80s for Saturday, lower 80s on Sunday. And there will be a good deal of humidity going into the weekend, but we don't have that right now. How do you track the showers? Well, if you're on the go, get the Fox 17 Code Red weather app. You can scan that QR code or just type in Code Red on the App Store or Google Play Store. That radar will be with you everywhere you go.
Steer clear traffic gets us out to I-40 and I-24. This is over just east of downtown Nashville. Traffic over there moving along pretty well, despite the fact we do have a tractor trailer and a couple of cars pulled over to the side. You can get by, causing minor delays over there. You could try to take Lebanon Pike, Elm Hill Pike. Those are going to be the best ways for you to steer clear this morning. But again, you can get by, and they're just waiting on some additional help out there to hopefully get this cleared out of the way. Here's 24 Bradley Parkway, making that drive in from the south and east side of town. Drive times in from Murfreesboro still under an hour. We're going to see how much longer that decides to last.
In consumer news right now, and Justin, thank you. Talking about driving, with a nationwide trucking shortage continuing to impact the industry, companies are now eyeing new innovations to ensure consumers get their products faster.
All right, interesting topic here. The American Trucking Association says their driver shortage is sitting at about 64,000 people. So officials at one company hope their driverless semi-trucks will provide solutions. That's right.
Okay.
Driverless semis. This company, Aurora Hope, plans to have 20 driverless trucks carrying all of our goods for FedEx, Uber Freight, and more.
The Aurora Driver is this combination of the hardware, the stuff you can see hanging off the side of the truck here, so different sensors like a LiDAR and camera and radar that allow it to see the world. And then some really interesting software that allows it to take that data to figure out how to drive safely through the world.
Jen is scratching her head.
So what if all of those pieces of technology get damaged? What if something falls off or gets hit or a bird whacks it or there's ice on it? We have a lot of questions.
They do say the test section is going to be armed with electrical conductors for EV charging.
Oh boy. All right. 6 o'clock hour starts right now. Got a lot.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
This Wednesday, problem not solved. Hermitage residents say the major homeless camp that was closed in January is now moving across the street. We're going to hear some more of their community concerns.
Gearing up for the great day in the forecast here. Sun is already up. We'll see how long our calm pattern lasts before the next weather maker tracks in.
Steer clear traffic takes us to a crash on the east side of town, I-40 at the I-24 junction. We're going to tell you about the best ways to steer clear.
Thanks so much for starting your Wednesday with us here on Fox 17 News this morning. It is May 29th. I'm Jennifer Waddell.
And I'm Erica Glover. We're going to get started right now with some breaking news out of Laverne. We are following a shooting out of Laverne where police say 2 people were killed at an apartment complex. It happened overnight.
Now let's check in right now with our Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar live on the scene from Murfreesboro Road.
Good morning. Officials say the shooting happened right here behind me in this apartment complex on Murfreesboro Road near Minerva Drive a little before 6 last night. They say that one man who was 23 years old died right here at the scene behind me, and the other man who was 39 years old was taken to Vanderbilt University Medical Center where he later died. And I already spoke with a couple neighbors who live in the same apartment complex who tell me that they knew those two victims. They tell me that the younger man had a baby on the way and was planning to move out, and they tell me that the older man also had children that he leaves behind. They say that the older man came up to the younger man and put a gun in his face, and it all started over an argument. Now, police can't confirm too many of these details, but what they do confirm is that this did start from an argument that escalated into that shooting. In total, there were 3 victims, they say. The third victim was a 45-year-old woman who was also taken to Vanderbilt University Medical Center, was treated for a gunshot wound to her chest, but is expected to be okay. They say 4 suspects are in custody at this time. Reporting live in Laverne, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, Karen, thank you. So in all, just to recap, there are 4 people in custody, 3 people shot, 2 people died. Wow.
Well, new this Wednesday morning, the Metro Community Review Board calling a special meeting Tuesday to discuss bombshell accusations made by a former Nashville police lieutenant.
All right, so let's dive into the story. The fallout comes after a retired Metro police officer sent a whistleblowing type 61-page document to the Community Review Board. Now, in case you're not familiar, the CRB, that Community Review Board, is a watchdog agency that essentially polices the police.
It alleges what the CRB is calling serious allegations of misconduct within MMPD's Internal Affairs Unit, the Office of Professional Accountability. Executive Director Jill Fitchard says she rejects Metro Legal's warning to not discuss the matter publicly.
I will not sit in this meeting and pretend like we have a 61-page document that has some very serious and critical issues and not say one word about it. I refuse to do that.
CRB members would not go into specifics about the claims. However, Fox 17 News exclusively obtained a portion of that complaint. We just filed it over on our website, fox17.com. You can read it in depth there.
And the board is also calling on the mayor's office for a third-party independent investigation.
We'll keep you posted on this story. In the meantime, we want to read a statement that has come to us from Metro Police Chief John Drake about all of this. It reads in part, quote, "The police department has been reviewing and will investigate the complaint. We will look at whether our administrative processes for internal investigation and discipline need any refinement." I'll also tell you this. Our Kelly Avellino is going to join us later this morning. She's the one that broke the story yesterday. Kelly's going to join us later in the morning to dive deeper into her exclusive details.
All right, 6:04 is the time. Good morning, Greg.
Good morning. Let's just get to all the big things you need so you can get you going here on this Wednesday morning. It's a good day loaded with sunshine. We have a cool morning, more cool nights ahead of us the next 2-3 mornings, just like this one. Right side of your screen, waking up in the 50s, and those temps will be there all the way through 9 o'clock, even during commercial breaks. Next weather maker going to be Saturday into Sunday. Code red arrow stays right where it's at. No problems. Even the weekend, I don't see signs of severe weather. There will be a few pop-up thunderstorms, but many dry hours, and we don't all get the rain at the same time. One of those setups here for Saturday and for Sunday as well. Weather influence on traffic this morning will just be the sunshine and the sunglasses. No visibility issues, just the calm, cool air. We'll give it a green light when it comes to any weather impacts to start off today. By lunchtime, temperatures climb into the upper 70s to right near 80 degrees. We'll call it 75 at 11, 77 at noon, and 78 at 1.
All right, everyone, let's get to the very latest with your steer clear traffic at I-40 at I-24. That's where we're following a bit of a crash here on the shoulder of the road. The emergency crews have not yet responded to the scene. So traffic is crawling by there on that side as you merge towards the junction there. You can also see people up walking around trying to figure out what to do as all these cars have been stalled out as a result of this crash, again, making you drive in from the east. So what is this doing to your drive? Well, right now, it depends on where you're coming from. Kingston Springs into downtown, that's the west side. We're doing good. That drive in from Murfreesboro, which is part of that drive I just showed you at the junction, 63 minutes so far, and that time will only rise throughout the morning.
We are now now learning more information this Wednesday morning about the Franklin teenager that police say was killed in a shooting on Saturday.
Court records now identify both the suspect and the victim. The victim is Lily Basil, who had graduated from Page High School Friday. So sad. The picture you see here on your screen is the person accused in the Hanson Drive shooting Saturday. Court records say this is 18-year-old Matthew Ruffell, who shot Basil, according to police, with an AR-style rifle. He claims he did not know the gun was loaded. Ruffell is now charged with criminal homicide.
Page Hill High School principal releasing this statement on your screen regarding Lily Basil's death, writing in part, "Lily was a light. She was kind, sweet, and extremely respectful. Her smile lit up every room that she entered. Though she was newer to the Page community, she quickly embraced the Patriot spirit and was a friend to everyone she met." Well, a celebration of life ceremony is planned for Lily Basil this Friday at Rolling Hills Church, followed then by a sunset memorial at Page High School.
6:07 is the time right now. We go to Hendersonville in minutes, where city leaders say their next budget is going to deliver on a big promise to do something about the roads in the city.
Metro Police say they need your help in the search for 3 suspects who reportedly stole thousands of dollars worth of medications. The clues to be on the lookout for.
Fox 17 News at 9.
6:09 is the time, and new this morning, the city of Hendersonville wants to do more to hire and keep police officers. Now, right now, they're around 10 officers short, but city leaders say they're working on a brand new budget, and they have found room for a $2,500 signing bonus for the next 10 officers that they hire. One alderman is asking the question, though, are the signing bonuses really going to be effective?
Sign-on bonuses are an effective tool, but they are ones that you have to understand are not always going to have a long-term effect. They typically, when someone does a sign-on bonus, they'll sign a contract to say, I'll work with the agency for, let's say, 3 years. So they'll commit to the 3 years, and at the end of that 3 years, they may decide to stay. That may be long enough for them to see our culture, for them to kind of find that they're in a groove. Other times, they may want to leave.
Well, right now, of course, there's a healthy competition going on for the services of law enforcement officers across the mid-state. Yesterday, I told you about Wilson County authorities who are looking for 15 jail guards right now. And of course, Metro Police are looking to hire more school resource officers for elementary schools. The other thing that the city of Hendersonville did overnight was guarantee $7.3 million for road improvements. They say that is the most they've ever spent on road improvements in 1 year. In Operation Crime and Justice, Metro Police are searching for 3 suspects in a burglary that happened at a Midtown pharmacy. They made off with thousands of dollars worth of prescription medicine. Now, this happened back on May 19th. That's a Sunday morning at the Walgreens on 22nd Avenue North. The suspects arrived around 4 a.m. in a white sedan. 2 of them were able to pry open the door to get inside. Police shared these images from a security camera. If you have any information about this, you're asked to contact Metro Police.
Coming up in your forecast, nothing to worry about for us here today. There is the sun. Beautiful start to the day. The weekend brings back humidity and thunderstorms we'll begin to talk about coming up in your forecast.
Steer clear traffic. We continue to follow this crash east of town, I-40 at the I-24 junction. We'll tell you the best ways to deal with this when we come back. Also, a helping hand, the new services being offered to fishermen to give them more time on the water.
And he plowed right into me on the side. We're in the hospital for 4 days, and you had a good job, and then all this happened. You're worried about your car note, lights, water bill, daily life things you gotta have. Don't wait, call.
It's Mower Mania at the Mint Gaming Hall Kentucky Downs. Win a 42-inch zero-turn John Deere lawnmower. Drawings are every Friday night. Plus, check out all our newest games. You won't want to miss Mower Mania. Only at the Mint Gaming Hall Kentucky Downs.
It's been a tough few seasons for the Morgans.
Good morning, 6:14. Have you heard about the stunt outside of former President Trump's trial in New York? President Biden's campaign shows up outside of the courthouse during closing arguments with a whole, I guess you could say, like a dog and pony show. It was really interesting to watch. President Biden's campaign took people like actor Robert De Niro and first responders who were at the January 6th Capitol riot and placed them outside of the courthouse in New York City. That group who showed up said they weren't there to talk about the trial, but they showed up outside of the trial to try to, as they put it, shift the media's focus back to President Biden's push for re-election. Let's watch and listen.
We're not here today because of what's going on over there. We're here today because you all are here.
With Trump, we have a second chance, and no one is laughing now. This is the time to stop him by voting him out once and for all.
It was a really interesting display. The Biden team argues that Mr. Trump's alleged efforts to overturn the 2020 election might happen again this fall. On the other hand, Trump supporters say this all proves the former president's point.
So why the change? Why is Joe Biden now making this a campaign event after months of weaponizing the legal system against President Trump? Because Joe Biden's numbers are in the tank.
Mr. Trump insists he is not guilty of the charges against him. We were reading reports from some of the pundits, some of the experts who were watching the trial, who were saying we could have a verdict before the end of the week.
Right now, making national headlines, healthcare workers staged what they call an informal picket line right outside of the Mayo Clinic St. Mary's campus that's located in Rochester, Minnesota. This was Tuesday. Now, the Mayo Clinic is one of the world's most renowned hospital chains. About 1,600 workers with the hospital have been working without a contract since April 22nd.
And at this point, we are very frustrated that we have not been making the progress that we know our members deserve. Some of our core demands are surrounding mandatory overtime, which has become incredibly excessive and made it hard on people's families.
The union recently delivered petitions from hundreds of workers, patients, and community supporters that call on the Mayo Clinic to act and settle their disputes. Now, if you plan on hitting a beach in Florida this summer, you may want to go ahead and just pay extra attention to what's swimming around you.
I mean, listen, if you're going to Florida and you're getting in the water, you got to know sharks are going to be out there. But now Florida has officially been called the shark capital of the world. The Florida Museum of Natural History is sharing its International Shark Attack file, which shows most unprovoked shark attacks in the world happen off the coast of Florida, specifically Volusia County. Now, if you're thinking, where the heck is that? That's Daytona Beach.
Okay.
All right, that area in particular, right there off the coast of Daytona Beach, there have been 351 attacks recorded since, now, granted, let's give a little perspective here. 350 attacks since 1882.
It's been a while.
It's a long time.
Brevard County is second, and then Palm Beach comes in third. The most common months for attacks, according to the experts, occur are July, August, and also October.
All right, so just pay attention if you're out there. Never know.
We have seen more videos, at least on social media, where the sharks appear to be closer and closer to the shore. So,
I mean, they were there first.
I mean, true.
That's very true. I have a very easy solution to that.
Don't
stay out of the ocean?
Just don't go in the ocean. So how about a pool forecast?
Hang out on the sand.
I guarantee you're not going to find a shark there. Take a look here. We'll be in the upper 70s later today. Maybe not the warmest of days when you want to get in the water, but a nice day to be by the water. It'll just feel good. The sunshine coming down. The UV index is up there, so make sure that we're doing extra sunscreen. What's really deceiving about a weather pattern like this is we're at that time of the year when we almost have peak sun rays in terms of what it can do to your skin. But when it's not hot outside, you don't realize it until it's a little too late. So we'll be in the upper 70s, 2 o'clock into 4 o'clock. Might hit 80 degrees for an hour or so. Or maybe you go, okay, we'll use the water a different way. Go ahead and wash. Today, tomorrow, Friday. All 3 days are good whether you're doing it yourself or you just want to, go through the good old automatic car wash. You're fine. Nothing to worry there. Now, we're finally seeing some of our greens and our fairways dry out a little bit after the weekend. So as far as the golf forecast goes, make your tee time. Weather is gorgeous. 68 degrees at 9, 77 at noon. Late day tee times, maybe even around a 9 after you're done with work later today. Sun doesn't set till close to 8 o'clock, so you can easily sneak that in there with temperatures still in the 70s. Your Thursday and Friday going to stay dry as well. Rain free until Saturday into Sunday. Not a widespread outbreak like we had last weekend, not even close to it. A couple of isolated storms that are out there. It'll be on the weaker side too, not even putting down that much rainfall, so no concerns about flooding. We'll aim for 80 degrees today, 79 tomorrow, 83 on Friday. Waking up this morning in the 50s and low 60s. Temps on the right side of your screen. You'll have 2 more mornings that will be in the 50s before we go back to 60s across the board for night times this weekend.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get to the latest on I-24 at the I-65 junction north and west of downtown Nashville. We are dealing with a slow go coming in from places like Whites Creek, from Jolton into downtown here. This is right before you get to Briley Parkway that this slowdown is starting to develop here. Have not found a crash to go with this, but this is typically a little faster than what we're seeing right now at 6:20 in the morning. You can try to take Brick Church Pike as a good way to steer clear if you don't like your drive here. Let's take a look at the drive on I-40 at the I-24 junction as you make that drive in from the east side. Just saw TDOT arriving, we thought, to this scene right here. You can see where a couple of cars are pulled over on the shoulder. 18-wheeler pulled over here. You can get by, but if you want to use Lebanon Pike or Elm Hill Pike as good ways to steer clear, that would be my suggestion coming in from the east side.
Well, going fishing just got easier. That's because Walmart is rolling out a new live bait delivery service. Listen now for what families need to know.
We have all different kinds. We have catfish, we have trout, bluegill, sunfish, so it's really great for everybody.
Well, getting out and casting a line at your favorite watering hole just got a bit easier. Walmart's rolling out its first of its kind live bait delivery service. The store sells live bait, but now you can get it delivered right to your door.
Worms, it could go from mealworms to red worms. There's just different type of live bait for different fish that you would like to catch.
You can get live bait delivered as early as 6 a.m.
You can get it up to 10 p.m. at night. If you're going to go that early fishing, you can have all your bait ready before you go and get it delivered, like I said, or picked up.
Delivery is only available to a home or business. Future plans include delivery to your local fishing hole, something Tara Daughtry and her son, high school angler Deegan, say will help keep the tackle box full.
It just makes it really convenient to be able to get bait when I do want that live bait, so it just makes it one step easier.
It is good for fishermen, especially for the parks. It is convenient. A lot of times you're catching a lot of bluegills or bass and you're losing your bait very quickly out here, especially with the underwater structures. So it is convenient to have it delivered for sure.
By the way, just checked, you can get live bait delivered here in the mid-state. I know the story was based from another state, but it's happening here at home today.
Hey, it's good news you can use. A tip of the hat after the break, why a mid-state deputy is receiving a national award.
And an interchange just south of Nashville set to open today. How this is going to ease congestion for all of our friends waking up in Spring Hill.
The new Hyundai Elantra with America's best warranty. There's joy in every journey. Lease an Elantra for $189 a month or get up to $1,500 total savings. Plus, military personnel get an additional $500 bonus cash. Hurry in.
The Fox 17 Code Red Weather app, your first line of defense when severe weather threatens. Download the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather app now.
.625 is the time, and happening today. There's a brand new interchange that is set to open just to the south of downtown Nashville, and really this is to the south of Franklin. You're going all the way down here towards Murray County by the time you get down to this direction here.
Yeah, what you're looking at right now are aerial shots of a diverging diamond interchange.
Make the call, because we care too. Home instead. To us, it's personal.
Did you know taking Zysol at night relieves allergies while you sleep? So you wake refreshed for a more productive day. Get 24-hour continuous relief that does not fade. Be wise all, take Zysol at night.
Type 2 diabetes? Discover the... Greg will join us in minutes to get a full look at your forecast.
And steer clear traffic takes us to I-40 at I-24. A bit of a slowdown there because of a disabled tractor trailer and a couple of cars on the shoulder. We'll tell you the best ways to steer clear.
Justin, thanks, and thank you for joining us for Fox 17 News this morning. I'm Jennifer Waddell.
And I'm Erica Glover. Right now, Fox 17 News is continuing to follow breaking news out of Laverne. That is where police say 2 people were killed in a shooting at an apartment complex.
It happened overnight just off Murfreesboro Road, and that's where we find Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar.
Officials say that the shooting happened right here behind me at this apartment complex on Murfreesboro Road near Minerva Drive a little before 6 last night. They say that it all started because of an argument that escalated into a shooting, and as a result, 3 people were shot at. 2 men and 1 woman. They say that a 23-year-old man was shot right here behind me and died right at the scene, and that the other man was 39 years old, was taken to Vanderbilt University Medical Center where he later died. They say that the 3rd victim was a 45-year-old woman who was taken to the same hospital, treated for a gunshot wound to her chest, but is expected to be okay. I spoke with a neighbor who wants to remain anonymous because of safety concerns and out of respect for the victims, who tells us what he knows.
The younger one that lost his life, he had a baby on the way. And like I said, they also was getting ready to move. So, you know, they was kind of in the middle of that and the situation going on. And it's just a sad situation. You know, it's really bad. So, you know, I feel bad for, you know, both families. And I just, you know, hope that they can all, you know, just let everything go and move forward from it.
I reached out to Laverne police to find out the identities of the victims and the circumstances surrounding this incident. I haven't heard back yet. They say that all 4 suspects are in custody. Reporting in Laverne, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Karen, thank you. Right now in Operation Crime and Justice, Metro Police arresting a man on parole for a deadly shooting that happened on Sunday.
And to your point, Erica, on parole, out on parole at the time.
Police say that this man, Calvin Kinzer, admitted that he shot and killed a man in the Napier area. Again, this was Sunday. It happened near the intersection of Lewis and Winfrey Street. But Kinzer says it was self-defense because he says the victim shot at him first. Kinzer is currently being booked on a parole violation warrant, and police say he faces new charges of gun possession by a convicted felon.
6:33 is the time right now. As promised, a deeper look into your forecast with our Code Red meteorologist, Greg Bobus.
Let's do it here. 3 things to know here for the rest of this week and leading in toward the weekend. Cooler mornings. You can feel it right now. And that's how we're going to be the next several mornings until Saturday. Rain free for the rest of this week. That will also change Saturday. No humidity right now. That will also change Saturday. Yeah, so that's kind of the pivot day to get back into a more active and more almost summer feeling like pattern. And that makes sense because Saturday's the first day of June. Taking a look, we're all clear when it comes to our Code Red threat level. No problems there. So what to wear? Leave the rain gear at home, and whatever was comfortable yesterday should be equally as comfortable today. Your main accessory likely will be the sunglasses once again, and that will be dominant as your main feature here until Saturday. Out the door here on this Wednesday, 61 degrees at 7 o'clock, 64 at 8, and 68 degrees at 9 a.m. Jam-packed with sunshine all day, all the way through sunset. That won't be until 7:57. We've talked about it, making the tea times anytime today, tomorrow, and Friday are going to be phenomenal. We have greens that are drying out. Fairway should be looking pretty good. And no wind either. That's also nice here. So all your tee shots, if we're going hooking right or left, it's going to be user error there. Temps will be in the upper 70s to right near 80 degrees later on this afternoon. That is going to be the common theme here for today, tomorrow, and also on your Friday. Those storm chances on Saturday and Sunday, very isolated in nature for afternoon toward the evening. And then nighttime temperatures get a little boost of warmth there, a little bit on the warmer side starting Saturday night back into the mid-60s.
Steer clear traffic at 6:35 this morning. Let's take a look at what we're dealing with just to the east of downtown. We are dealing with a crash here at I-40 and I-24 right at the junction there as you make that drive in. I'm pretty sure this is the I-24 side here, the I-40 side over on this side. So if you're coming in on I-40, you probably won't even see this at all. If you're coming in on 24, though, that is where you're going to run into a bit of a problem. That is T-Dot down there in the yellow vest walking around trying to see what they can do to get these cars cleared out of here. So it's going to cause a small delay coming in from that east side. So let's take a look at your overall drive times, shall we? 33 minutes coming in from Hendersonville. Over an hour now from Murfreesboro. 31 minutes coming in from Mount Juliet.
I think that it's pretty clear to see who the bad actors are, and it's Live Nation, Ticketmaster, or third-party resellers.
Nashville musicians sounding off. They are among roughly 250 artists demanding Congress mandate reforms to the live event ticketing industry, specifically talking about Live Nation and Ticketmaster.
The National Independent Venue Association delivered this letter on your screen to Congress. And this letter includes signatures of big names, performers like Dave Matthews Band and Fall Out Boy. And they're asking lawmakers to restore integrity to the ticketing process.
Nashville musician Ben DeLacour says the current system is hurting artists, venues, and fans.
Paycheck to go to a show, to see a big artist, you're probably going to be more hesitant to spend $20 and go see a local band.
Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn is co-sponsoring this Fans First Act. Blackburn says she wants to safeguard artists and fans in the online ticket marketplace. By the way, Live Nation with a huge office right here in Nashville.
Oh yeah, Wedgwood, Houston.
Yeah, and so we'll keep an eye on this story as it develops for you.
After the break, making changes when it comes to abortion trafficking in Middle Tennessee. New information now surrounding Governor Bill Lee's latest plans.
And just a note of thanks here this morning that you wake up with us every weekday morning. We're your only live local news source through 9 a.m.
On.
Good morning and welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. 6:39 is the time. In news across the state, Governor Bill Lee has signed the Underage Abortion Trafficking Act into law.
Now, this measure does make it a crime for any adult to recruit, harbor, or transport a minor to abort a child or obtain abortion chemicals for her without the consent of the parents. Now, violators can be charged with a Class A misdemeanor. It has a mandatory jail time of 11 months and 29 days. It goes into effect July 1st.
And developing right now, a group of Dollar General workers from Louisiana will be here in Goodlettsville, joining local workers today outside of Dollar General's annual shareholder meeting in Goodlettsville. Now, to give you some perspective, this shareholders meeting happens in May, and this group of protesters did the same thing exactly at this time last year.
Also, for those who didn't know, Dollar General's corporate worldwide headquarters is in Goodlettsville, right off of their conference drive there in 65 in Vietnam vets. And this protest does come after a week of action nationwide as customers in some cases joined in with the workers in 9 different states to protest what they're calling safety violations at Dollar General stores.
All right, so the rally for today is going to start at the corner of Windsor Green Boulevard and Conference Drive in Goodlettsville. It's supposed to start in about 20 minutes. So if your morning commute takes you along Conference Drive in Goodlettsville by Dollar General headquarters,
could see a few folks out there.
Heads up, you could see traffic backed up in that area.
And 6:41 your time right now. Weather not giving us any problems here getting out the door. Beautiful sunrise. Temperatures that are in the 50s right now. And this is a day where watching where you're headed when it comes to a flight might be more important than worrying about our weather, because temperatures and outlook here at the airport throughout today: 9 a.m. 68 degrees, 77 at noon, and 78 degrees at 3 p.m. No problems there, and no problems indoors here when it comes to looking at the big board trying to find, is my flight delayed, canceled, on time. We only have 16 delays right now, which is pretty average for this time of the morning. It's 58 degrees right now with no wind, no problems, and again, weather will not be an issue for us throughout the day. So we talked about Titanic and new ventures to get down there and take people to look at the wreckage. How many years did it take to locate and finally find the wreckage of the Titanic after it sank? Was it 71, 73 years, 75 years, or 77? I'll have the answer for you coming up in the next check of your forecast.
Steer clear traffic takes us out and about to I-40 at the I-24 junction. This is just to the east of downtown Nashville. Traffic over there moving along very nicely, despite the fact we are dealing with a disabled tractor trailer. TDOT is there. They're trying to do the best they can to get this out of the way there in that area. So what can you do? You can try to take Elm Hill Pike, Lebanon Pike. Those are both good ways to steer clear as you get out and about there on the east side of town.
I'm Janae Bowens in Washington with a look at what stores and fast food chains are doing to get your money.
Here's.
Good morning and welcome back into Fox 17 News this morning. 6:44 in the economy. So many of us still feeling the pinch of high prices. And now we've got some restaurants and some retailers that are trying to focus their marketing messages on affordability in order to attract people to come back. Fox News' Janae Bowens shows us how that's playing out in stores near us.
A trip to McDonald's isn't as cheap as it used to be.
Actually, I would like for them to put some good stuff on sale and maybe a sandwich, fries, and a drink. For me, it probably costs like $14, $15.
The Daily Mail points out McDonald's prices have doubled in 10 years. Back in 2014, you could get a McDouble for just $1.19. Today, you'll pay $3.19. And if the shake machine is working, you'll pay $4.49 for an Oreo McFlurry. It used to be just $2.39.
Everything go up now, everything up.
McDonald's has seen less revenue from lower income customers and reduced foot traffic.
We've lived through a period of incredibly high inflation. When prices go up, particularly for food, it's low income customers that are often the most sensitive to those price changes.
There are now reports that the fast food chain is going to start offering $5 meal deals. It's not just them. Wendy's is offering 1-cent junior cheeseburgers until June 2nd. And Walmart, Target, and Aldi are discounting thousands of items.
So as a result of families spending more on food, they're a lot more attuned to how much they're spending, especially when they get to treat themselves to a meal out. So it's not surprising to me that supermarkets and fast food chains are really trying to appeal to consumers on price.
Now, even though inflation is coming down, that just means the rate at which prices are going up has slowed. Food prices are 26.95% higher now than they were before the pandemic. Experts want me to remind you to be sure to shop around for the best deals. I'm Janae Bowens reporting.
Janae, thank you. That makes me want to check out Aldi, just save some money, hopefully.
Makes me want to go back to local Joe's in Mount Juliet, where I can get a big old meal for less than that.
Well, hey, switching gears here, take a look at your screen. Mosquito season is certainly here. So right now we're taking a live look at the Global Mosquito Observation Dashboard.
Yeah, so this is a live interactive map. It helps scientists track mosquitoes, but you can look at it as well. We're zooming in real close to Nashville to show you where we're seeing clusters of mosquitoes. You can see a lot of activity just south of Nashville, represented in each of those little green dots. Some of the dots are different colors based on the group that's reporting them. But it's interesting because it'll show you things like pictures that have been submitted showing West Nile testing in mosquitoes that have been trapped. And so just kind of a neat look here. When you zoom in real close, it doesn't look like there would be that many. But when we zoom out and get the big picture, you see where the real big clusters are.
And when you zoom out and think about the big picture as well as how many bug bites you're getting outside, you'll think, okay, there certainly seems like a lot of mosquitoes.
So if you have more mosquitoes, as we get ready to send it over to Greg, if you do have more mosquitoes than you think you should, check for standing water.
I've done that.
You know, we've had so much rain that even, Greg, just the ground being extra soppy in some places will be a breeding ground for mosquitoes.
And to your point, since we have the artificial turf in our backyard, no mosquito problems back there. It's all the front yard issues.
Interesting. Okay.
This is that time of the year where there's always something, whether it's the mosquitoes, whether we had flooding earlier in the week, we had the severe weather over the weekend, the UV index, you're getting sunburn. This is just what we're doing here. But we're talking, we mentioned how there's that new expedition to possibly go down and see the Titanic, the new venture.
Yes.
Curious question today. How many years did it take to find the wreckage of the Titanic after it sank?
D.
Was it 71, 73, 75, or as Erica says, 77? D.
I'll guess A, 71.
That's an A. You were close, Jen. 73 years it took to find the wreckage. They knew the location, but it's so far down. We're talking 2.5 miles and underwater in the ocean that this didn't have the technology until the 80s to finally get something that could last going that far underwater. Taking a look here, know when to mow. So here we are in ground level. We do have a lot of soppy land and grass, as Jen alluded to, but as that does dry out, yes, and yes for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We probably have some pretty decently large blades of grass out there right now if you haven't cut your yard in quite some time. Next rain chance going to be very late Friday night into Saturday and then Sunday. Isolated showers and storms. None of that activity today. Go ahead and fire up the grill. Treat yourself after you do some yard work if that's going to be your plan. 78 degrees at 5. Slides back down to 74 by 7 p.m. And again, our sunset not until close to 8 o'clock tonight.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
This water spout was spotted Tuesday from the National Weather Service's Lake Charles office. The spout was over Calcasieu Lake, which is known as Big Lake to the locals. And during the long weekend, early Memorial Day storms lit up the Chattanooga skies. Out west, Mount Hood capped with snow, while the lenticular cloud at its peak resembles an actual cap.
For more content like this, like the National Weather Desk on Facebook.
All right, everyone, let's take a look at your steer clear traffic this morning. Apologies. I-40 at I-24 junction, just east of downtown. Traffic there doing pretty well as you make that drive in from the east side of downtown, despite the fact we've got a disabled tractor trailer here on the shoulder of the road, a couple of cars back behind it. We've been dealing with this now for the last little bit. There is a TDOT truck here telling people exactly what to do. Just give them room to operate as you make that drive in. This is going to be on the I-24 side of the junction there on the east side. So all these folks coming in from perhaps Antioch and Laverne and Smyrna. This is the I-40 side. They probably won't see this crash at all based on where they are. This is the north side, 65 and 24. Typical slow go coming in on that side of town. We're going to have your latest drive times coming up in our 7 o'clock hour.
Justin, thank you. We just talked about grocery and fast food prices, and now for the first time since January, there are some economists who say Americans are feeling better about the economy. Are you one of them?
I mean, listen, I'm kind of gauging things now based on what my bills look like for everyday things, and on that front, not so much. But this study is taking a closer look at the job market and how people perceive the job market as an indicator overall on their economic feelings. So we've got the Conference Board Consumer Confidence Index, the CCI. You've probably heard it referred to. The Consumer Confidence Index is up a little bit from the last survey, which was last month, and that improvement shows, a slightly better attitude, I guess you could say, about the economy when it comes to the job market.
Okay. Well, my attitude stops being so positive once I'm paying for my groceries. I still stick to that.
Understand. Yep.
There are firefighters over in Washington that saved a cat's life after rescuing him from a car wheel. All right, the cat right here on your screen, named Blue, was spotted inside a spare wheel on the owner's property after apparently chasing down a mouse. See, it gets you into trouble. That was inside of the car wheel area. Cowlitz firefighters, oh my God, careful firefighters, carefully cut open the wheel after a nearby veterinarian gave the cat some medication to, try and settle him down.
Blue, by the way, is expected to make a full recovery.
Okay, parents, go ahead and listen up. Introducing peanut butter to infants and toddlers seems to offer some protections against developing a peanut allergy. So we're going to explain that story.
And this morning we go to Franklin, where we're learning more about a teenager who died in a shooting this past weekend. We have new updates in our next half hour.
Your system looks like it will be arriving in Brentwood at 4:15 on Wednesday.
Providing you the information needed to prepare and stay safe. Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. Alerts, empowers, protects. Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. We track severe weather.
Using our Code Red alerts up to 3 days in advance. This low pressure system looks like it will be arriving in Brentwood at 4:15 on Wednesday.
Providing you the information needed to prepare and stay safe. Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. Alerts, empowers, protects.
Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Your first line of defense when severe weather threatens. Warning you up to 3 days in advance.
So, when we call a Code Red weather alert,
know we're providing you with the information needed to prepare and stay safe.
you're watching Fox 17 WZTV Nashville.
The Fox 17 Code Red Weather app, your first line of defense when severe weather threatens. Download the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather app now.
You're watching Fox 17 WZTV Nashville. 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 You're watching Fox 17 WZTV Nashville.
Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. We track severe weather.
Using our Code Red alerts up to 3 days in advance.
Warning you to weather that will impact your life.
Our forecast pinpoint a storm's path, showing when it will hit your neighborhood. That's what we already had. This low pressure system looks like it will be arriving in Brentwood at 4:15 on Wednesday.
Providing you the information needed to prepare and stay safe. Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. Alerts, empowers, protects. Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. We track severe weather.
Using our Code Red alerts up to 3 days in advance. This low pressure system looks like it will be arriving in Brentwood at 4:15 on Wednesday.
Providing you the information needed to prepare and stay safe. Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. Alerts, empowers, protects.
Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Your first line of defense when severe weather threatens. Warning you up to 3 days in advance.
So, when we call a Code Red weather alert,
know we're providing you with the information needed to prepare and stay safe.
you're watching Fox 17 WZTV Nashville.
The Fox 17 Code Red Weather app, your first line of defense when severe weather threatens. Download the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather app now.
You're watching Fox 17 WZTV Nashville. 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 You're watching Fox 17 WZTV Nashville.
Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. We track severe weather.
Using our Code Red alerts up to 3 days in advance. This low pressure system looks like it will be arriving in Brentwood at 4:15 on Wednesday.
Providing you the information needed to prepare and stay safe. Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. Alerts, empowers, protects.
Delaying allergenic foods for young children does not necessarily prevent diseases. Stay with us though, our 7 o'clock hour is starting right now.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Good morning and thanks for starting your day with us here on Fox 17 News This Morning. Dollar General workers are demanding change. They are picketing right now in Goodlettsville. Karen Aguilar will join us live in moments, where workers are planning to march to the shareholders meeting at corporate headquarters as we speak.
Bright sunshine right now, but the clouds will come back later this week. The humidity goes up, and we're timing our next weather maker in the form of thunderstorms in your forecast.
And steer clear traffic takes us to I-40 at I-24, just east of town. Still dealing with a slowdown there, but there are other things to tell you about. We're going to get to that with steer clear traffic.
Yeah, lots to get to, but we do want to start by saying thank you for joining us here on a Wednesday morning. For Fox 17 News, I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. We are always your live local news source through 9 a.m. And we do want to begin this hour with an update to the breaking news of this morning out of Laverne, where police confirmed 2 people have died in a shooting from overnight at an apartment complex. The victims, 2 men, one age 23, the other 37. We also have learned a 45-year-old woman is recovering after being shot in the chest. As of right now, 4 people are in custody. Just as soon as we get more updates on those suspected in the shooting that turned deadly, we'll be sure to have you covered live through 9.
We do want to check in with our Code Red meteorologist. If you like low humidity, today is going to be fantastic.
From start to finish all the way through sunset right around 8 p.m. What's new this morning is it feels a little bit cooler. Temperatures are in the 50s. They were in the 60s yesterday morning, so we're just dialed back a few degrees. We're staying dry all the way through Friday now. Isolated storms possible for Saturday and Sunday, but nothing that's making us have to worry about any code red, so we'll keep the words all clear and the green box there as we're just good to go for the next couple of days. We're at 61, so we have gotten above that 60-degree mark in the Nashville area, but most of us are still in the mid to upper 50s. Sunshine's starting to try to do its work, though, and get us a little bit warmer hour by hour, up to 73 degrees at 10 o'clock, 77 at noon, and most of today will be in the mid to upper 70s. We might hit 80 degrees between 2 o'clock and 4 p.m. Most of us, though, will teeter right around those upper 70s with the low humidity. It'll be a great day to get outside and enjoy some sunshine right around lunchtime. Here's that specific window: 75 degrees at 11, 77 at noon, and 78 degrees at 1 p.m. Your 7-day forecast gives us 2 more great days after today. We'll talk about 79 for a high tomorrow, 83 on your Friday, and then everything trends up when it comes to humidity increasing. Isolated storm chances for Saturday and Sunday, and a little bit of a boost in temperature back into the 80s.
Steer clear traffic takes us to the very latest happening on I-40 at the I-24 junction as you make that drive in from east of downtown Nashville here. This is going to be the 24 side here coming in from Antioch. A bit of a slow go because of a crash that's on the shoulder. You can get by. TDOT is there. Minor delays at best. Murfreesboro Pike will help you steer clear of this. Lebanon Pike will also help you deal with this as well. You can also use that for I-40 at Central Pike as you make that drive in from the Hermitage area. We're doing okay other than some typical stop and go as you approach that exit. Now, coming up in a few minutes, we're going to take you down to Murfreesboro. That's where we have just picked up a crash down there. 24 at Salem Pike. Can't get it to the cameras right now, but we will coming up in a few.
Justin, thank you. We're learning more this Wednesday morning about the Franklin teenager that police say was killed in a shooting that happened over the weekend on Saturday.
According to court records, the person you see here, 18-year-old Matthew Rufael, shot Lily Basil with an AR-style gun Saturday. Police say he claims he didn't know it was loaded.
We now know the victim, Lily Basil, graduated from Page High School on Friday. It was heartbreaking. Well, Page High School, we understand the principal released this statement that we're sharing with you on the screen regarding Lily Basil's death, writing in part, "Lily was a light. She was kind, sweet, and extremely respectful. Her smile lit up every room that she entered. And though she was newer to the Page community, she quickly embraced the Patriot spirit and was a friend to everyone that she met."
So tragic here. A celebration of life ceremony for Lily is planned for this Friday at Rolling Hills Church, followed by a sunset memorial at Page High School. Happening today, Dollar General workers and advocacy groups from outside of Tennessee will be here in Goodlettsville demanding safer working conditions. They are rallying starting this hour outside of the shareholders meeting at the corporate global headquarters for Dollar General in Goodlettsville.
Let's check in now with Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar to give us some update about what's happening or will be happening later this morning.
Good morning. Well, we're on our way to that rally in Goodlettsville, where organizers tell me at least 100 people are expected to show up. And this includes local Dollar General store workers and advocacy group, some coming all the way from Louisiana to voice their concerns. Those concerns focusing mainly on improving safety conditions in the workplace, like not blocking exits and other hazard concerns that they have. Organizers also tell me that they would like to see a full staff and they would like to have trained professionals working at any given shift to make sure that when emergency situations happen, they are handled correctly. So coming up at 7:30, we'll take you right to the rally, and we'll also be talking to protesters to give you some more of their perspective on why today is important. Reporting live in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Karen, thank you. 7:05, just about 7:06 right now. And Hendersonville is working to find ways to hire and keep police officers.
We're going to tell you how many officers they need to hire and what they're trying to give them to stay with the force.
Incentives, you could say.
Yeah.
And right now, a couple different live looks from Nashville. Top left is the skyline. Weather looking fantastic for today. We'll track your next chance for rain in minutes. Plus, live look and steer clear traffic. We got something that's popped on I-24 in Murfreesboro. We'll get you there in minutes.
7:08 is the time, and new this morning, the city of Hendersonville wants to do more to hire and keep police officers. Right now, they are 10 officers short in the city, but city leaders are working on a brand new budget, and they have found room in that budget to add a $2,500 signing bonus for the next 10 officers that they hire. They also want to increase the starting salary for officers because the competition is getting pretty intense.
It was shown that our police department was $2 million under budget, not over budget, under budget this year. I asked the question, why is $2 million under budget? And the answer was, we can't hire police officers. We've got to keep this city safe. Our police department does a magnificent job in keeping our city safe, but I want to make sure that our ranks are full, that we have sufficient police officers.
So when is the last time their ranks were full? We're going to be hearing about that coming up in our 8 o'clock hour. As I mentioned, though, there is a healthy competition going on right now for the services of law enforcement officers across the mid-state. Just yesterday, I told you about Wilson County. They're looking for 15 brand new jail guards out there, and Metro Police are looking to hire more school resource officers for elementary schools. A morning update after a ransomware attack affected thousands of people nationwide, and that impact is still being felt right here at home. Now, one patient is filing a class action complaint. Yvonne Pratt is doing so on behalf of Ascension St. Thomas there, and she says she's doing so on behalf of a lot of other people also impacted by the cyber attack. It accuses the healthcare system of failing to adequately safeguard confidential private information of current and former patients. Now, if you want to read the full complaint, you can go to our website, fox17.com.
Coming up next, we'll look at your forecast into the weekend. Right now, nothing on top of the radar, but we'll be using this tool quite a bit. Saturday and Sunday both bring storm chances.
Huge scene happening down in Murfreesboro. This is going to be I-24 at Highway 231. That's the Shelbyville highway exit there. Police on the scene along with TDOT. Looks like THP is out there. Unsure exactly what the problem is, but they've got traffic snarled just a bit. We're going to tell you the best ways to steer clear down there in Rutherford County. Plus, taking a live look at the intersection of DB Todd and Buchanan Street. Coming up, we're going to tell you why officers are calling for an increase in safety measures at this particular intersection in North Nashville.
Tony Bates, Bates Sports. Scott, show them what you've dug up.
Folks, we're representing the 70s this month. 1978 Corvette Indy Pace Car, 1972 Plymouth Duster.
Make that short drive to Lebanon, and remember, we'll trade for anything it don't eat.
Lowe's knows when you need a new appliance today, you want it at a great price. Shop deals on Samsung Bespoke refrigerators and the new Samsung Bespoke AI laundry combo, the industry's largest capacity, fastest all-in-one washer and dryer. Shop Lowe's now for Memorial Day deals.
When was the last time you took a moment to just breathe? Move to the beat of your own drum and dream. Here in Nashville, we're a mixture of genres, a hybrid of styles. From Chihuly at Biltmore to the Terrace at the Grove, creators in fields and in kitchens, in vinyl and glass, deeply rooted, ever evolving. Always Asheville. Plan your trip now at exploreasheville.com.
Well, are we ready for this?
What's next, Grandma?
Hayden, do you want to cut the banana?
Okay, let's do it.
Look at him. Now comes the best part, the bluebell ice cream. Oh, that's fun. Hey, how about some chocolate? And some sprinkles.
How's this, Grandma?
That looks so yummy. You know, your mom is gonna love this. Don't forget a spoon.
Trying to remember a strong password is hard. Hiring Morgan & Morgan for your injury is easy.
Too many attempts.
Morgan & Morgan. The choice is easy.
Tony Bates, Bates Ford. Mike, tell me about this electric avenue.
Folks, it's the EV blowout. Transit high roof, mid roof, F-150 Lightning. $10,000 off. Mustang Mach-E, $5,000 off. 0% for 72.
Come see us at Bates Ford, Tennessee. We'll trade for anything it don't eat.
The Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services, along with Metro Police and then concerned residents, they're going to go ahead and meet to discuss public safety right at the intersection of DB Tide and Buchanan Street. This is North Nashville.
It is, and this is an area that we have covered extensively over the years because of a concern for crime, among other things. So right now, our Fox 17 photojournalist Kevin Mumphrey is live at this intersection. And right now, things are calm and quiet. But as I mentioned, we have reported extensively on crime and public safety concerns in this area.
Yeah, tonight's virtual meeting is going to touch on key areas of concern, including data and crime numbers, a closer look at the current situation for folks who live in this area and can attest to the history of this area, plus the challenges based on past efforts, and then how the homeowners can work in this community to make a difference. I am familiar with this area, and folks call it this area the crisis on the corner.
Wow.
That's how bad the crime is.
Wow. All right. So we'll be there. We'll let you know what they decide, if anything, to try to make improvements to overall public safety in Nashville. New this morning, Tennessee Governor Bill Lee has signed a bill requiring certain domestic violence suspects to wear a GPS monitoring device. This bill got filed in January. Again, the governor has signed off on it, and it makes GPS monitoring a condition of bail for certain domestic violence and stalking charges.
GPS providers would then send an alert to the victim's cell phone if the suspect is nearby in the area. Governor Lee signed the bill into law just yesterday. It will also go into effect on July 1st.
7:15 is your time. We've been talking so much about how gorgeous the weather turned out yesterday. Beautiful again today. Greg, I feel like we might need to bring back the tip jar.
Oh, that would be good. I like the way you think also with this gardening forecast.
I like the way you think too. And taking a look here, the next couple of days, honestly, are going to be picture perfect for us. You mentioned 5-star day. I would typically make a graphic, but that's every day for the next 3 days. I can give you your 5 reasons: sunshine, low humidity, decent pollen counts, cool mornings, and right near normal afternoon temperatures. And then the 6th one for a kicker, no rain. But no rain means you're doing the gardening yourself. You're also doing the watering of the plants yourself. You can see our temperatures here climbing from 68 at 9 o'clock to 78 at 3 p.m. Average this time of the year is 83 degrees. I mentioned doing the watering yourself. Many areas here, we haven't seen rain since Sunday. You always want to do it the first few hours right around sunrise, not too late in the morning. So right now is a great time to do it, or wait until we get close to sunset, but don't do it after sunset. Sunset today going to be a few minutes shy of 8 p.m. going into tonight. So 14 hours worth of daylight for us here. What does this mean going toward the afternoon? Well, if you're going to be in the backyard, maybe you're not doing the gardening, but just letting the kids burn off some energy, maybe even just sitting out on the back deck, just enjoying some sunshine here later today. Have the sunglasses, have the sunscreen, and know that we will have a carefree forecast. All of your rain gear can just stay in that coat closet until we get to Saturday and Sunday. 80 degrees today, 79 degrees tomorrow, 83 on Friday, nighttime temps. 2 more nights will be in the 50s, and then those will step back up into the 60s. The humidity will increase, and then we'll start talking about nuisance isolated storms. When I say nuisance, I mean no severe weather, and they're not going to be all-day soakers, just a few pop-up storms each day of the upcoming weekend.
Steer clear traffic takes us down to Rutherford County. This is going to be I-24 at Highway 231. This is the Shelbyville Highway exit down there in Rutherford County in Murfreesboro. Now listen, we've been watching this scene for the last little bit. The fire department just came and left here a short time ago. We thought we had a much bigger problem than I think we ended up having. That's why so many of them have left in the last few minutes. But that is the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office out there dealing with that, causing small slowdowns here as you make your way, it looks like, out of Murfreesboro down towards Christiana is where this is going. So this is going to be 24 going outbound here down in the Murfreesboro area. Some slowdowns there that you can't get by. Here is I-40, I-24. We've been dealing with this for hours here. Disabled tractor trailer on the shoulder of the road. TDOT is there along with several other vehicles. They've been up and about walking around, unsure what they're waiting on or what's going on. But you can take Murfreesboro Road. It's a good way to steer clear. Minor slowdowns as you make that drive in from Antioch, Smyrna, and Laverne.
7:18 is the time. Right now in Operation Crime and Justice. Metro Police are searching for 3 people who stole from a Midtown pharmacy. Police say they took thousands of dollars worth of prescription medicines.
All right, this happened back on May 19th at the location on 22nd Avenue North. This, Erica mentioned being Midtown. This is the one right over there by Centennial Park. We understand, according to police, that the people showed up around 4 o'clock in the morning on May 19th in that white sedan, and 2 of the 4 people pried open the Walgreens door to get in. There's the white sedan again. If you have any information, please call Crime Stoppers. We've got that number at the bottom of your screen.
In news from across the state, Governor Lee also signing the Underage Abortion Trafficking Act into law. Now, this measure makes it a crime for any adult to recruit, harbor, or transport a minor to abort a child or get an abortion without the consent of their parents. Violators can be charged with a Class A misdemeanor with mandatory jail time of 11 months and 29 days. The measure passed overwhelmingly in the House and the Senate during the 2024 legislative session. This law goes into effect on July 1st as well.
Happening right now, a developing story coming to us from Meharry Medical College, which is now under fire this morning. There's been a complaint filed against Meharry for, quote, inhumane treatment of animals and not following proper protocol. There is a national watchdog nonprofit that investigates animal abuse and illegal activities. They're the ones that filed the complaint against the school's president, and they're calling for several staff members to be fired.
This is a developing story. We'll continue updating you as more details become available. We'll also be sure to share those details over on Fox17.com.
Nashville artists are joining hundreds of others around the country demanding change to the industry when it comes to ticket sales. We're talking Live Nation and Ticketmaster. They say things have gotten out of control. The latest on the lawsuit and the push for change in Congress.
Quick reminder, Fox 17 News, your only local station with traffic and weather updates live from 4 all the way up until 9. Everyone else goes network. We stay local for you. Get outside and enjoy the weather. It's a 5-star Wednesday.
Melissa.
Breaking news right now when it comes to oil prices. Potentially, ConocoPhillips is now buying Marathon Oil in an all-stock deal valued at approximately $17 billion. We also understand that this deal is going to cost about $5 billion in debt for the other company. Now, Marathon Oil shareholders are going to receive just a fraction of what we're understanding ConocoPhillips stock for each share of Marathon Oil stock that they own. Now, this particular deal is expected to close later this year. Now, if you're listening and you're wondering how could this deal impact how much you pay at the pump, it's a good question and something that Fox 17 News is also monitoring.
Oh boy, big deal there in the energy world. All right, thank you, Erica. Well, Nashville musicians are now calling for reform when it comes to live event ticketing. They say the whole industry needs to be reshaped and reformed.
Yeah, I mean, they claim Live Nation and Ticketmaster have a monopoly in that industry. So a letter now been delivered to Congress on behalf of music artists and fans. That letter to Congress includes signatures of big names. Think Dave Matthews and Fall Out Boy, just to name a couple. Nashville musician Ben De La Cour says the current system is hurting artists, the venues, and the fans.
Paycheck to go to a show, to see a big artist, you know, you're probably going to be more hesitant to spend $20 and go see a local band.
Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn is the co-sponsor of the Fan First Act. Senator Blackburn says she wants to safeguard the artists and their fans, and they want to make sure that the online ticket marketplace is fair. This comes in the middle of a lawsuit against Live Nation, the parent company of companies like Ticketmaster, that was filed by the Department of Justice and co-signed by 30 states, including Tennessee. That happened just last week.
Yeah, and Live Nation with that huge headquarters right here in Nashville. So we'll monitor that for you. In the meantime, we were asking over on our Twitter account, how much would you be willing to pay to see your favorite artist? Would you be willing to shell out thousands of dollars? Well, in our poll, most of you say absolutely not. In fact, 60% of you say you'd only be willing to pay up to $100 to see a particular artist. 32% of you say you'd pay between $100 and maybe $250. But most of y'all would never pay $500 or more for a ticket. So if you want to let us know what you think, scan that QR code right there on your screen. It'll take you to our Fox Nashville Twitter account. where you can sign off.
7:25 and a good-looking day right now. Beautiful sunshine this afternoon. 80 degrees, a few clicks just below normal for this time of the year, which is 83 degrees. So we'll call it a cool start. And humidity free. You don't feel any of that outside right now. 7:57 will be our sunset. Sunglasses will be necessary all the way through then. Humidity, as I mentioned, is down. Why is that? Not a lot of moisture in the air. Our dew points always help dictate how humid it is. The closer these numbers get to the actual air temperature, the more mugginess we feel. And if they're in the 50s like they are today and tomorrow, well, you don't feel much of anything. Very, very comfortable. As far as the weekend goes, humidity will go back up. So will our chance for a few showers and storms. Here's your temperature outlook. 84 degrees on Saturday, 82 on Sunday. So again, a little bit warmer than today, right near those average highs. No severe weather. We're not washing it out. Not even seeing a lot of rainfall in general. So I'm not concerned about any areas of flooding where we're still seeing water go down from this past weekend. Nighttime temperatures will even be in the 60s. How do you track that on the go? Well, if you haven't done this yet, that's what you do. You go right there and you scan the QR code on your screen. It'll pop you up right to the App Store. Free download, the Fox 17 Code Red weather app. You'll have the Doppler radar with you wherever you go, and it will alert you anytime that there is severe weather anywhere near you.
Still clear traffic. We are going to continue to follow that crash down there in the Murfreesboro area. That's I-24 and Highway 231, the Shelbyville Highway exit there. Traffic can't get by. This was a much larger scene a few moments ago. Things have calmed down dramatically on the shoulder, not really causing that big of a problem. Here is going to be I-40 at I-24. That's just east of downtown, right near the junction. This is where things are slowing down a little bit. We had an 18-wheeler there on the shoulder. Looks like they've been able to get that out of the way, so no more big problems in that direction. We're going to give you the very latest when it comes to your steer clear traffic, live and local through 9 as we continue to follow things out there on the roads for you.
Your time right now is 7:27. Dollar General workers say they're fed up with working conditions. What they claim is going on in the stores with Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar, who will be live in Goodlettsville, where those Dollar General workers are rallying this morning.
Plus, a man out on parole arrested in a deadly shooting investigation. We're going to tell you what he is telling police happened in this case.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Now on Fox 17 News this Wednesday morning, changes unveiled on the roads today in Spring Hill. We're going to share the details.
Waking up here to some sunshine, a nice forecast for now, but the weekend brings back a lot of the things that are, well, not so comfortable. We're talking increases in humidity and storms in your forecast.
Steer clear traffic gets us out to I-40 at the I-24 junction just east of town. We're going to give you the latest ways to steer clear of any tie-ups.
Well, hey there. Thank you so much for joining us here at a Wednesday morning for Fox 17 News. I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. We are your live local news source through 9 a.m. And we begin this half hour with new information in Operation Crime and Justice as Metro Police have now arrested a man who was out on parole. He is now accused in a deadly shooting that happened this past Sunday.
Police say this man, Calvin Kinzer, admitted that he shot and killed a man in the Napier area on Sunday. Now, this happened, if you're not familiar with the Napier area, near the intersection of Lewis and Winfrey Street. But Kinzer, according to police, says it was self-defense because he says the victim shot at him first.
All right, so Kinzer right now being booked on a parole violation for starters, but also facing new charges of having a gun as a convicted felon. So more charges listed as well. Fox 17 News will be following the story for you live through 9.
Let's talk about what's happening today. A major interchange is set to open south of Nashville. It could impact your commute. There is going to be a ribbon cutting ceremony that happens today, all celebrating this new interchange, the I-65 Buckner Lane interchange. That's going to happen this morning, 10 o'clock.
So hopefully this is going to improve traffic for you down there in Murray and Williamson County. This interchange will provide direct access to and from I-65 and Spring Hill. TDOT expects about 17,000 people will use this interchange every day over the next year or so, but that number could jump to 44,000 people using it a day over the next 20 years. So yes, Murray County, Williamson County, one of our biggest areas that we're seeing development right now. So 10 a.m. ribbon cutting, and then things will be hopefully flowing a little smoother.
That's a whole lot of drivers. Well, the good news is the weather is going to be on their side for the ribbon cutting ceremony.
Thankfully true there, and it won't impact driving in general today. We'll take a look at the weather's influence when it comes to hitting the road in about 30 seconds. But right now, the big 3 notes for today. Great day, loaded with sunshine, cool mornings thanks to colder nights that we're having, the clear sky, allowing a lot of that daytime heat to escape back into the atmosphere overnight. And then next weather maker does move in for the weekend right now. Nothing going to slow you down. No visibility problems. We don't have any standing water anymore when it comes to our roads. And taking a look, we're all clear. No code red. Weekend storm timeline right now looks to be morning into afternoon. Pop-up showers and storms each day. Neither of them washouts, but there will be a little action on the radar. None of that happening right now. Radar is completely bone dry. Taking a look what this means for that influence. Hitting the road, sunshine, sunglasses. That's when the visibility issue you're going to have is just from the sun itself. We'll go green light. No worries, no problems hitting the road when it comes to a weather start up to your day. 80 degrees this afternoon. Current temps on the right side of your screen are already climbing back into the 60s for several of us. 79 degrees tomorrow, 83 on Friday. A little warmer for the weekend, and the mugginess comes back with that storm potential. Justin?
Steer clear traffic at 7:34. Quick look outside at I-24 and Highway 231. Been following this crash out there in Murfreesboro for a little bit. Crews looks like they're getting ready for departure here once they get the rest of their cargo tied down on the back of that trailer there. This was causing a much bigger scene a little bit ago. Glad to see things have calmed down there in Murfreesboro. Here's I-40 at Old Hickory Boulevard. This is coming in from the Bellevue area. This area was a crawl a few seconds ago. Whatever it is that was holding it up has moved out of the way, so that's good news if you're coming in from Bellevue, Kingston Springs, and Dickson. Here is the drive times right now. Everybody in the yellow, 42 minutes from Hendersonville, 76 minutes, about an hour and 15 minutes from Murfreesboro, 39 minutes from the south side in Franklin.
Today, Dollar General workers and advocacy groups are demanding safer working conditions.
They plan to rally outside of the annual shareholders meeting in Goodlettsville. Now, they did this exact same thing last year, and there are demonstrators coming in from outside of Tennessee. We have our Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar live there this morning to show us what's going on.
Good morning. Well, we've already seen dozens of demonstrators stepping out of buses, some coming as far as Louisiana to voice their concerns over what they call that they need better safety improvements inside of the workplace. And we also have some people here behind us protesting. They're lining up this street just wanting their voices to be heard. And I'm here with Isaiah Stewart, who he was in the bus for about 12 hours coming from New Orleans, Louisiana. He works at a Dollar General store there. Isaiah, tell me a little bit about what the mission is for today.
The mission is to be heard. We just really need this act and this movement really to be pushed. It's about that time that not only just our city, but other cities and others, they need to see what type of movement this is. They need to see that these people are willing and ready to work, but they need the conditions. They need better conditions, safety. We need those type of things to keep our business, stores, homes running.
Right, and now what are some of the concerns that you've experienced working at a Dollar General store yourself that you're like, no, this needs to change?
I've seen kids come in my store stealing, young babies, early ages of 6. I've seen them coming out with their mothers. I've seen one of my old assistant store managers robbed in a store, and there was nothing that they did for him. Not even a check if he had trauma for it. So things like that, most definitely, I really want them to fix, because I see that as a huge problem in my area.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Isaiah. We are going to be speaking to more of these workers and even try to get a comment from some of these stakeholders here to see what their response is to some of these demands. Reporting live here in Goodlettsville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Karen, thank you. Coming up, what policing happened over the holiday weekend on Tennessee's lakes and rivers.
And right now we have a couple different live looks from Nashville. Things have, gone all right here for your Wednesday morning as far as traffic is concerned. Still a little bit of a tie-up there on I-24 in Murfreesboro at Highway 231. We'll check in on that, plus the rest of your steer clear traffic again in just a few minutes. Want to make sure you get where you're going on time.
Marshall Spot.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. 7:40 is the time. State wildlife agents confirming the death of a teenager in a Memorial Day weekend boating accident.
Now the TWRA is reporting that Braden Hardup jumped from a boat into the Watts Bar Reservoir and did not come back up. His body was recovered early Sunday morning. At least 13 people in Tennessee were charged with boating while under the influence. 5 of those arrests were made right here in Middle Tennessee.
And right now, take a look at this. Several areas of Clarksville still underwater after last weekend's severe storms. Clarksville Fire and Rescue, in fact, sharing these pictures of a driver who got stuck in a Jeep on a flooded Ashbury Road yesterday afternoon. Take a look at these pictures. Wow. Crews able to send out the swiftwater rescue boats and rescue the driver who took the Jeep through this area. The good news here, no injuries reported.
That is certainly good news here, despite the fact that the water is still high, but it will get some time to come on back down because we don't have rain anytime soon, it would seem.
Thankfully, out the door forecast for today, no rain. 64 degrees by 8 o'clock this morning, warming up to 73 by 10. Going to be a beautiful low humidity kind of a day. Rain does come back to the forecast, though, in the weekend. So we'll check in with Greg here in just a few minutes on that.
Steer clear traffic. Let's get a good look here at the latest thing going on out there on the road. This is going to be I-65 at Boers Lane. Coming in from Franklin, things are a little crowded out there on the road coming in from Franklin through the Cool Springs area this morning. You could try to take Franklin Pike if you don't like what you see here. Also, keep in mind, if you don't like what you see, wait a few minutes. Sometimes this particular drive especially can thin out pretty fast in the next 10 to 15 minutes or so. But right now, pretty crowded out there as you make that drive in from Williamson County.
Drama unfolding during a community review board meeting. Fox 17 News investigator Kelly Avellino with details on a bombshell accusation made by a former Nashville police lieutenant.
And check this out. New developments coming to Antioch. We've got the very latest on Middle Tennessee's first ever Chinatown development. We'll be right back.
Should be.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. 7:44 is your time. Following accusations this morning by a former Metro Police lieutenant.
The allegations are that high-ranking officers work behind closed doors to get state lawmakers to pass a bill weakening police oversight boards across Tennessee. This all coming out of a Metro Community Review Board meeting last night.
Our Fox 17 News investigator and anchor Kelly Avellino breaking the story. Kelly, fill us in on what you've learned overnight.
Well, Jen and Erica, it's a 60-page document detailing a series of allegations made against Metro Police, many of them having to do with police transparency. The Community Review Board is the city's police watchdog agency overseeing citizen complaints against officers. The whistleblower is a former lieutenant who worked in MMPD's Internal Affairs Unit, the Office of Professional Accountability. Now, that also looks into those same complaints, the OPA. He says that high-ranking police members lobbied state legislators to pass a law that diminished the power of oversight boards across the state, just like Nashville's CRB. That law did go into effect last summer and takes away much of the CRB's ability to investigate officer misconduct or excessive force allegations. Now, the CRB called a special meeting last night, and Executive Director Jill Fitchard refused Metro Legal's warning to keep quiet per that same state law.
I will not sit in this meeting and pretend like we have a 61-page document that has some very serious and critical issues and not say one word about it. I refuse to do that.
Other allegations include officer discipline not being carried out and other MMPD leadership working to undermine the authority of Kathy Morante, the civilian attorney who heads up the department's Internal Affairs Unit, or the Office of Professional Accountability. Now, the board is calling on the mayor's office for a third-party independent investigation. The board also hired its own attorney outside of Metro Legal to help them get more access to police documents that they believe they have a legal right to see. So Metro Police releasing a statement from Police Chief John Drake over the issue that reads, in part, the police department has been reviewing and will investigate the complaint. We will look at whether our administrative process for internal investigation and discipline needs any refinement.
All right, Kelly Avelino, thanks so much for your investigation. We'll look for more updates later today.
Well, as more and more folks get outside and enjoy the warmer weather and the low humidity, especially this week, unfortunately, we have to deal with pesky mosquitoes every season. Well, to prevent getting bitten, the CDC is sharing some more tips.
So, you know, in case you're new to the area and you've never really had to deal with mosquitoes where you lived before coming here, it's a whole thing. If you're going outside and you're going to be outside, especially at dusk or dawn, wear long sleeve shirts and even long pants, or just think tall socks. Also put on your repellent of choice. Maybe you use essential oils, or maybe you go for the DEET. Now on a larger level, state and local officials around the country are starting to spray and set up mosquito traps. This comes as the CDC is ramping up efforts to monitor mosquitoes and people who might be building up resistance to certain insecticides.
What we've done is develop tools to help detect when that resistance might be occurring, and then we can provide recommendations on when to stop using those and when to use other products.
The mosquitoes growing the resistance to the insecticides.
Meanwhile, to keep pests away from your yard, get rid of any containers that can harbor standing water. Jen, you were just talking about this. That is the perfect mosquito breeding ground. We don't want that.
Take a live look now at the Global Mosquito Observation Dashboard. Yes, this is being monitored worldwide, and you can see as we zoom in closer to Nashville, some of the areas where they're seeing clusters of a lot of mosquitoes already starting to breed and show up. You can find the map at mosquitodashboard.org if you want to take a look at it for yourself. And again, quick reminder, they tend to be the worst at sunset. So, you know, if you're out during the day, lots of sunlight, probably not as big of an issue. After dark, not as big of an issue, but there's something about sunset.
Well,
right
you said
there at
earlier,
dusk.
it's also something about, what did you explain?
Okay, so I've heard, and y'all chime in if you've heard differently, I've heard that the reason that mosquitoes are attracted to some people more so than others is essentially like the chemicals that you emit from your body.
More sweat?
When you breathe, the way you sweat attracts them.
I have an add-on to that too, because I looked it up.
What's
and
that?
You're 100% right. They can detect your carbon dioxide that you breathe out from 60 to 75 feet away.
Yes.
And some people's natural body chemicals are more attractive than others.
Oh, so
there you go.
So what we're saying, another good repellent would be to just have me hang out with you, because for whatever reason, they like my carbon emission. I don't know.
Those are some smart mosquitoes. That's all I can say.
They truly are. Speaking of smart, look at our dog of the day and notice one thing in the picture. This is Picasso. Beautiful dog here sent in by Joanne and Jim. I say smart because look, Picasso is so well behaved that his leash isn't even being held right there. He's like, I'm waiting until you are ready. Pick up that leash and then we'll get moving. So here we are when it comes to our dog walking forecast. 64 degrees at 8 a.m. 73 will be our temperature at 10 and 75 at 11. So the forecast a little bit cooler than yesterday morning, comfortably cool. Maybe it's an extra long dog walk for today. You can send us your photos going to meteorologist Greg Bobus on Facebook. A few submissions have already come in this morning. You just find that pinned post right there. And whatever you want to share, whether it's where you're from, whether it's how old your pup might be, or just a little fun fact, you can see right here on Fox 17 News this morning. I'm issuing a barbecue alert coming up in 5 minutes. We're going to look ahead to some temperatures this evening that are ideal for getting outside before those mosquitoes come out.
Steer clear traffic takes us out to Murfreesboro. Let's get to I-24 and Highway 231. We're starting to see what the problem was. This tractor trailer is missing a couple of wheels on the back side there. Unsure if the wheels fell off or where they went, but one thing's for sure, they're going to need a little bit more than a tow truck to get that out of the way because it's missing the back wheels from that tractor trailer. Curious, where did the back wheels go? But it's all on the shoulder right now. You can't get by as you make that drive out there near Murfreesboro. No big problems this morning. Vietnam vets at Gallatin Bike also looking good, pushing through Sumner County.
All right, Justin, thank you very much. 7:51, and in your community right now, development underway to create what would be Nashville's first Chinatown. I know you might think of much bigger cities.
Hey, we're a big city.
like New York that have their own Chinatown. But the Tennessee, this is the thing, the Tennessee Nashville Chinatown project says they want to put one in Antioch as both a tourist attraction, but also they say a local favorite.
Yeah, so they're going to have international supermarkets, 10 restaurants, retailers, also an event center. Metro Councilwoman Joy Stiles, who represents Antioch, says this project displays Antioch's diverse Asian population. Listen right here.
This is another opportunity to show everyone that Antioch is back. We are the most diverse part of town, and here's another opportunity for you to learn about one of the many cultures that live in Antioch and Southeast Nashville.
All right, that council member says that Antioch is back. The supermarket, by the way, slated to open by 2025. And then the $27.5 million project is scheduled for completion by 2027.
I was looking at the video trying to get a better picture of exactly where this is. I think this is just off Bell Road, like not far from Hickory Hollow Mall, if I'm looking at the locations correctly. So, all right, we'll see how that develops. At 7:53 right now, a mid-state school resource officer honored on the national stage. We'll tell you why in moments.
And at 7:53 right now, Fox 17 News showing you a live look of the Nashville skyline and saying, hey, happy Wednesday. Enjoy the low humidity and sunshine. And definitely, this is the day to pack your sunglasses.
Fox 17.
7:56 is the time. Country music's biggest weekend is right around the corner. The genre's hottest names and fans from around the world are coming to Nashville for CMA Fest. That is next week.
Hard to believe. June 6th through the 9th. The 51st annual CMA Fest, also featuring all kinds of special events, raising awareness for different causes around Nashville. So yeah, getting stocked up, getting ready.
So this area is going to be jam-packed.
Yeah, well. And we'll be bringing you live coverage as we get closer.
Here's a story that's trending online. Major League Baseball will officially incorporate Negro League statistics into its historical records. So what does this mean? Well, listen. In 2020, MLB recognized 7 professional Negro leagues in operation from 1920 to 1948 as major league teams.
We understand the decision in turn included 3,400 players added to MLB history. Incorporating those stats into the MLB records would notably put catcher Josh Gibson atop a few different lists. His .373 batting average would beat out Ty Cobb, and his 1.1 on base plus slugging would beat out Babe Ruth. Now, if you are not a baseball fan, you have no idea what I just said. But your on-base percentage is, and Greg knows about it, on-base percentage is huge. Now, that's not your batting average. That's how many times do you get on base, whether it's a walk, whether you get hit by a pitch, all that good stuff. So.
Yeah, for folks who follow baseball, this is a big story that a lot of folks have been advocating for years, asking for those stats to be considered.
I mean, rightfully so. A quarter century worth of statistics right there.
Yeah.
And those players would have been many in the MLB anyway. So I think it's fantastic to finally get that ball rolling here. And as far as we're talking about getting up and getting out the door, taking a look at what we can do, I told you I'm firing off here a barbecue alert for later on this afternoon. Maybe you want to get a little yard work done, or you've got plans throughout the day. You just want to end the day with some comfort. There's nothing worse than barbecuing outside when the humidity is horrible and temperatures are too hot. We don't have that today. 78 degrees at 5 o'clock, 76 at 6, and 74 degrees at 7 p.m. Tons of sunshine the entire day and the entire evening. And we were talking about it a few hours ago here when we were waking up that it's a good night for a bonfire. Maybe you can get the ingredients for your grilling and also get some stuff for some s'mores later on tonight. 6 p.m. will be at 76, but how quickly do we get back into the 60s? Fairly quickly. By 8 p.m., 69, we're still mainly clear, and then we'll be in the lower to middle 60s, 10, 11 o'clock tonight. So perfect for all those outdoor activities at any point today. And we don't get many days like that where from sunrise to sunset, everything is comfortable and everything is easy to manage. We'll call today an 80-degree high. Right now, you're in the low to middle 60s.
Steer clear traffic. We continue to follow that crash on I-24 at Highway 231 there in Murfreesboro. This is right at the exit for Shelbyville Highway. You can see it there for yourself. Police on the scene looking at the leftovers of that tractor trailer that's missing the wheels from the trailer. Unsure exactly what happened to it, but they're waiting on tow truck and other equipment to come get that out of the way. We're going to take you back into Nashville, show you a trip on the north side coming up in a few.
Justin, thank you very much. New information this morning. The YMCA of Middle Tennessee says it will serve as a sponsoring agency for the 2024 Summer Food Service Program. So this will be in action over this summer. Basically, the YMCA saying that they will have sites in Davidson County, Rutherford County, Sumner, Montgomery, and Robertson counties where they will give out meals through the federally funded program.
Sites are going to go ahead and distribute breakfast or lunch or an afternoon snack during the months of June and July, but the times vary based on where the location is. So any child whose family receives SNAP benefits is eligible to go ahead and receive these free meals.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
And happening now on Fox 17 News This Morning, we are live in Goodlettsville, where some Dollar General workers are demanding change. Our Karen Aguilar is live just off Conference Drive at the Dollar General World Headquarters to show us what's happening now.
Waking up to temperatures that are slowly climbing into the upper 70s. We're below average for this time of the year. We'll see how long we keep the cool, calm pattern going in your forecast.
Steer clear traffic at I-65 at Dickerson Pike on the north side of town. Traffic is moving, but moving slowly. We'll tell you the best way to deal with it.
Thank you so much for joining us here on a Wednesday morning. For Fox 17 News, I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. Glad to be your live local news source through 9 a.m. At 8:01 right now, let's get straight to our top story this hour. We begin with Operation Crime and Justice, and this is a breaking news update from Laverne, where police have confirmed 2 people have now died. 1 person hurt after a shooting at an apartment complex overnight.
Police say the victims are 2 men, one 23, the other 37. We also know a 45-year-old woman is recovering from a minor gunshot wound. That's according to police. As of right now, 4 people are in custody.
8:01, let's get moving with the forecast here this morning. The big 3 things to know to round out this week and get you toward the weekend, and they're all good things. Well, this is not necessarily good, but everything leading up to it is. We have cooler mornings, which is nice. It's a nice way to wake up here. The humidity's down with that cool start. Rain-free for the rest of this week. Not a drop of rain, mainly sunny today and tomorrow. Barely any cloud cover until Friday. We keep all that stuff away, the cloud cover, the humidity, and the storms until Saturday. So we round out this week far different than how we got into it on Monday morning. Taking a look here over Nashville, nothing happening. We're keeping our arrows right there in the all clear. We're allowing Code Red to take a vacation. It was here way too long last week, so it's taking the week off. Weekend even still looking pretty good, despite the fact we have storms, no severe weather's expected. 69 degrees your temperature right now. We're going to push for 80 degrees later today. So what does that mean for what to wear? Well, whatever keeps you comfortable in the upper 70s. We're not worried about beating the heat today. Just make sure that you got the sunglasses or maybe just a nice hat. Enjoy today for what it is. It really is going to be a great one.
Steer clear traffic gets you out to I-65 at Dickerson Pike. That's on the north side of town. You can see traffic up there is rolling along, but rolling along pretty slowly. A lot of congestion starting to build up here, and it runs not just here on 65 at Dickerson, but all the way into town through Trinity Lane, all the way near Fern Avenue. This is going to be what your drive is looking like there. So you want to try to take Dickerson Pike if you can to steer clear. Ellington Parkway, if you can get to that, that's about a mile up. You can use that instead of riding this all the way into town if you would like. Let's get to the crash out there in Murfreesboro we've been following. This is going to be I-24 at Highway 231. I'm unsure what happened to the wheels here. Whenever this car was traveling, I promise you it wasn't traveling like this. So there's some wheels missing on the back end of that car. Police are on the scene dealing with that.
Well, today, Dollar General workers and also advocacy groups, they're going to be out demanding safer working conditions. They plan to rally outside an annual shareholders meeting that's located, the meeting is in Goodlettsville.
Right. Did the same thing last summer. We had live coverage when it happened then. We go back out there now live again this morning to Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar. She's live as these folks are making their way to the Dollar General headquarters. Karen, I want to confirm, it looks familiar to me. I believe you're on Conference Drive heading up the hill toward the headquarters. Is that correct?
Right. That's right. That's exactly what we're doing. And you can see how many people are joining this effort. Some of them coming as far as Louisiana, taking a bus for 12 hours. And you mentioned that there were some demands last year. And some people that I've spoken with tell me that those demands just haven't been met. So they're out here again, marching in the heat, holding signs saying that Dollar General is a hazard. And I'm here with Kenya, who was a part of that plea last year. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're expecting out of today and what you're so upset about.
Today, we would love to be able to sit down or schedule a meeting, a Zoom, a three-way call with the CEO or one of his representatives, right? Mr. Todd Vasos has been evading us for 3 years now after 67% of his board voted in favor of our recommendations last year. And we have yet to see anything, right?
Right. And I want to take you, just like have you stop right here so my photojournalist Madison can grab you if you just want to take it right here. Okay, so it's a little bit better just to catch your breath. Obviously, you've been watching. This is a lot.
Yes.
So, I mean, tell me something about these safety concerns. They're specific safety concerns.
They're ridiculous, right? So they're protected. We couldn't get on campus yesterday to just ask for a meeting. They wouldn't let us in the door, right? But yet people are allowed to walk in Dollar General. We know about the mass shooting in Florida, right? The race-related shooting, right? So people are concerned for their lives. Several people, I don't even want to give a number, have lost their lives in the line of work, and they're not even like armed forces, right? No one should have to be afraid to go to work. Just safety. Better pay is one thing. They're always doing multiple jobs for one pay, right? So that's already unfair. But at least let me feel safe. And they're just like absolutely refusing to give us security, adequate staffing. Bare bones staffing is killing us, right? Why is there always one person in the store? Because the store doesn't have enough hours to operate. Allow for more hours. Give us some security, make things safe for your workers. And we're not going to talk about the OSHA violations with the blocked exits and things leaking from the ceilings and panic buttons not working, right? We're just talking about physical violence. Let's be real, these stores are put in like food deserts and like poverty areas strategically. And we need the stores. We don't want to shut Dollar General down. We want them to do right by their employees as well as their customers, because everyone is unsafe, right?
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I'm sorry that you guys have had to deal with this. We will keep you updated for the next half hour of what comes out of this. Reporting live here in Goodlettsville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Also, as part of our Fair and Balanced covering here, we will be reaching out to Dollar General to find out what they have to say as it pertains to those accusations that you just heard.
We'll add Hendersonville to the list of cities trying to find a way to hire and keep police officers. Ahead, we're going to tell you just how many officers they need to hire and what they're trying to give them to stay with the force. Incentives.
8:07 right now. A couple different live looks from Nashville. We'll keep you posted live and local through 9 a.m. Good morning to you.
8:09 is the time. And new this morning, the city of Hendersonville wants to do more to hire and keep their police officers. Right now, they are 10 officers short, but the city leaders are working on a brand new budget, and they have found room in that budget to hire an additional 10 officers. All of them could get a signing bonus of up to $2,500 per officers. This is only for the next 10 that they are hiring. Now, one alderman asked a very simple question. When was the last time that the police was fully staffed? And the answer could surprise you a little.
When is the last time that our police department has been fully staffed? Does anybody know?
I don't have an exact date. It's been several years since we've.
So basically we can't remember. It's been so long ago that we don't know.
It varies. It goes up and down, and then we'll have somebody retire, we'll have somebody leave and go to another agency, and then, we're constantly in the process of hiring.
Been so long that we really don't know. Well, there's a reason for that. There's a healthy competition right now going on for law enforcement officers across the mid-state. Yesterday, I told you about the Wilson County Sheriff's Office, who's looking for 15 guards for their jail. Metro Police are looking to hire more school resource officers for their elementary school. It's all coming out of the same pool of law enforcement availability. This morning, an update after a ransomware attack affected thousands of people nationwide, and the impact still being felt right here at home. One patient is now filing a class action complaint. Yvonne Pratt filed a lawsuit against Ascension St. Thomas individually and on behalf of others that were impacted by the cyber attack. It accuses the healthcare system of failing to adequately safeguard confidential private information of the current and former patients. Now, if you want to read the full complaint, you can go to our website, fox17.com.
And coming up in your forecast here, we're settling into a nice period of some weather just for the weekdays, though. The weekend changes the game in many different ways. So we'll take a look at 2 or 3 differences to the forecast between now and your Saturday.
Still clear traffic at I-24 and Highway 231 in Murfreesboro. Things are rolling along despite the fact we've got a disabled tractor trailer with no wheels on the shoulder. We're going to get to that in a few. Plus, we're taking a live look at the intersection of DB Todd and Buchanan Street. This has been an intersection that has been the center of controversy for literally decades here in Nashville. There's a store in particular that residents are very concerned about. They're going to be having a meeting about it later today. We're going to talk to you about it and the concerns they have when we come back.
Now is the best.
Well, happening this Wednesday, the Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services, along with Metro Police and then concerned residents, they're meeting to have a discussion about public safety right at the intersection of DB Todd and Buchanan.
All right, we've got a live look there right now from Nashville. Fox 17 photojournalist Kevin Mumphrey live at this intersection. Now, we take you here to this live location because we have reported extensively over the years on the crime here, also the concerns over public safety in general. And there's going to be a virtual meeting tonight that is set to address a lot of the community concerns.
Yeah, so some of those concerns are going to take a closer look at the data and crime statistics. Yeah, a guy going on his motorcycle. That doesn't look so safe.
Wheelie. Okay.
Yeah, they're going to also take a current look at the situation, but talk about what's been done in the past that has not worked and perhaps what has worked. Also, they're going to explain how homeowners, folks who live, rent, call this community home, can make a difference. I was saying earlier that this corner that we're talking about, some folks who live in this area call it the crisis at the corner. Specifically that liquor store that is right there where a lot of folks hang outside for hours at a time.
Okay, so we'll be there. We'll monitor the developments for you and keep you posted on Fox 17 News this morning, plus online throughout the course of the day.
Well, new this Wednesday, too, Governor Bill Lee signing a bill requiring some domestic violence suspects to wear GPS monitoring devices.
This bill filed earlier this year. It now makes GPS monitoring a condition of bail for certain domestic violence and stalking charges. The GPS providers in these cases would be able to send an alert to the victims of domestic violence to their cell phone if the suspect is close by. Governor Lee signing this into law just yesterday. It goes into effect July 1st.
Well, go ahead and take a look at this. Several areas of Clarksville are still underwater after last weekend's severe storms moved across the midstate. Well, fire rescue crews sharing photos of a driver stuck in a Jeep on a flooded Ashbury Road. This was last night. It's right near Shawnee Terrace. They say crews were able to boat the Jeep and the driver to rescue, get them safely ashore. The driver had no injuries. God, that's really good news. That is scary to just still see that days after the fact.
Sure is. All right, 8:16 right now. We do have some days to dry out. Real quick, while we're talking about the weather, gorgeous day to be outside. And we want to issue a slight correction to a story that we've been bringing you this morning from down in Spring Hill. They have the ribbon cutting this morning on that Buckner Road interchange. It's the diverging diamond. At I-65 in Buckner, supposed to clear up, traffic for Spring Hill especially. The ribbon cutting is this morning. The official opening of that interchange is going to happen on the 31st. So just wanted to make sure we clarify that. Not opening today, just doing the ceremonial ribbon cutting.
All right, let's check in now with our Code Red meteorologist because like you said, Jen, beautiful weather. It's a good patio day for lunch.
Oh my gosh. Perfect patio day because you have the sun, but you don't have the humidity and the heat with it.
Ooh,
so you just have all the good things that you would want if you're going to have a patio. I've been watching this map too throughout the week. This is what our radar indicates when we have wet roads that are still out there. And we had green and dark green all over the map earlier this week. Nothing now, which means if you want to get out there on your bike, taking a look here, temperature right near 80 degrees right in the middle of the afternoon. The yellow bars you see there, those are the times you might want to get out there and get on your 2 wheels and just maybe get a little exercise in. Gorgeous day for it. You'll be in the 70s when we have all those yellow bars that are out there. So we're talking this morning and then most of late afternoon. Or maybe it's not 2 wheels. Maybe you're worried about washing the 4 wheels you've got in the driveway. Today, tomorrow, and Friday are all good. Wash, wash, and wash. Great period of weather ahead of us here until Saturday into Sunday. We've not had a dry stretch of 5 days in a long time, so maximize it while you can. And then maybe you want to just treat yourself to some relaxation after you give the car a good wash. 77 at noon, 78 at 2 p.m., and 79 at 4. Means we're green lights across the board. Use the sunscreen and enjoy a little time by the water if the pool might be in the forecast for you for your future here today. 80 degrees today, 79 tomorrow, 83 degrees for your Friday. Let's spend a few moments on the weekend itself. You can see it says isolated storms for both days. That means that we're not going to wash out today. It means it's not storming for everyone. What pops up will be just that, a few pop-up storms for each day. Temperatures back into the 80s. The humidity returns with that as well. The only catch to the forecast today will be pollen counts are up slightly compared to yesterday, so a little more influence to your allergies.
Steer clear traffic. Let's take a look here at I-65 at the Harpeth River Bridge. This is in the Brentwood area. We picked up this crash a short time ago. It is shutting down at least one lane there on the outside, and it is making an impact on your drive coming in from Williamson County. Let's take a look at that drive right now. We're talking about 39 minutes from Brentwood into Nashville. A bit of a slowdown again on 65 there, very close to the Harpeth River Bridge as you approach Concord Road. You could try to use Highway 31 right here. That is Franklin Pike. That's going to be your best bet to steer clear in that area. We'll continue to get you updates on your drive time here and show you other problems because there are others that we're working across the midstate.
Well, in Operation Crime and Justice, Metro Police are busy searching for 3 suspects for a burglary last week at a Midtown pharmacy. And police say those responsible took thousands of dollars worth of prescription medicines.
All right, let's check the surveillance pictures here because we can see what happened back on May 19th at the Walgreens on 22nd Avenue North. This is right over by Centennial Park. Metro Police say the people arrived around 4 o'clock in the morning in a white sedan. 2 of the 4 people in this white car here pried open the door of that Walgreens to get in. These pictures show them bent over, rifling through the shelves to steal stuff. If you have any information, call Crime Stoppers. We've got that number at the bottom of your screen.
There are Nashville artists joining so many, hundreds of artists throughout the country, demanding changes when it comes to the industry, especially ticket prices. We're going to tell you why the live music ticketing issue has gotten out of control, according to so many artists.
Yeah, and Fox 17 News got you covered live and local through 9 a.m. Glad to be here for you. Watching on the bottom right side of your screen, a crash at I-65 at the Harpeth River Bridge. More steer clear traffic updates in minutes.
I'm Michael Ponce.
But right now, we are getting some more breaking news updates. The Uvalde Foundation for Kids says they are going to keep their doors open thanks to a last-minute donor out of Tennessee. The national nonprofit organization announced just yesterday that they were closing because of financial issues. Then they announced this morning that thanks to that Tennessee donor, their operations will continue, though major changes are planned. So more updates to come.
All right, Erica, thank you very much. Yeah, Nashville musicians and so many others. I mean, everyday folks who are buying tickets to concerts say reform is needed in the ticketing industry, specifically as it pertains to Live Nation and Ticketmaster.
Well, the National Independent Venue Association, tell me if you've heard of them. They have delivered a letter to Congress at this point. It includes signatures of some big-name performers like Dave Matthews and, of course, members of Fall Out Boy. Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn is a co-sponsor of the Fan First Act. Now, Senator Blackburn says she wants to safeguard artists as well as fans and the online ticket marketplace. Now, this is all in the middle of a lawsuit against Live Nation, the parent company of Ticketmaster, that was filed by the U.S. Department of Justice and co-signed by 30 states, including the state of Tennessee. They say Live Nation is too big and needs to break up because they've got too much power, too much control.
I've heard the word monopoly tossed around a lot. So we were curious. A lot of us have been forced in some cases to pay those exorbitant ticket prices just to go see our favorite artist. You feel like you have no other choice. But would you do it? Would you pay $500+ to go see your favorite artist? It's our question of the day over on our Fox Nashville Twitter account. And right now, most of you say you would only be willing to pay up to about $100 for a ticket.
Yeah.
61%.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
A lot of people, less than 3%, say they would pay more than $500 to see their favorite artist. So if you want to weigh in for yourself, you can scan the QR code there. You can also go to our X page. You can find us at Fox Nashville. 18
25. We're in the 60s right now. We're going to aim for 80 degrees later on this afternoon. Your Code Red forecast has no Code Red weather in it. All calm and clear weather for us here. 80 degrees, humidity free. Please enjoy this for what it is. The weekend, we're going to move this bar right back up to the feeling muggy category. Dew points in the 50s today. Pleasant day. So there won't be sweating going around while you're trying to walk to the end of the driveway to get the mail later today. It's not one of those kind of days or even close to it. Pollen forecast a little iffy depending upon how strong your allergies are, because we have elevated it back into the medium category for grass and also tree pollens. But it will drop back down this weekend as a chance for a few showers and storms moves in on Saturday and Sunday. Other than that, the weekend, hit and miss for showers and storms. No severe weather forecasted. Near average temperatures. Today's 80 is actually a little bit below average. We'll be in the low 80s, and 83 is right where we're supposed to be this time of the year.
8:26 is the time. Taking a look at steer clear traffic. Let's get started there on I-65 at the Harpeth River Bridge. This is in the Brentwood area. Crews are continuing to work a multi-car crash on the shoulder of the road. You can get by, but one lane is shut down while they continue to work that accident as you approach Concord Road there in Brentwood. Here is the overall drive time right now, 39 minutes coming in from Brentwood and Franklin. You can use Highway 31, that's Franklin Pike, as your best bet to steer clear of that. Still waiting on this to clear. This is a tractor trailer that's missing the wheels off the back for whatever the reason. It's a bizarre looking scene, but a tow truck is there to take care of that. 24 and Highway 231 in Murfreesboro.
It's 8:27. A picket is happening now in Goodlettsville. Why Dollar General workers, and hey, we've got a live shot as I speak. So this is a live look right now from Goodlettsville, just off Conference Drive. We'll tell you why all these people have gathered, making their way to the global headquarters for Dollar General.
And a man out on parole was arrested for a deadly shooting investigation. We're going to tell you why, according to police, this man says that he fired that deadly shot.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Now on Fox 17 News This Morning, changes unveiled on the road this week in Spring Hill. We're going to explain the details.
And we are waking up here. Look at the beautiful sky we've got here. Barely a cloud in it, but that's going to change leading toward the weekend when the first raindrops return to the forecast.
Steer clear traffic following things on I-24 near Highway 231. T-Dot cameras on the move, trying to get a better look at a disabled tractor trailer on the shoulder. We'll give you the best ways to steer clear.
Thank you so much for joining us here on a Wednesday morning. For Fox 17 News, I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. We've always got you covered, live and local through 9. 30 minutes to go right now, getting you updated on some of our big local headlines this morning. We begin with Operation Crime and Justice. Metro Police have arrested a man who was out on parole in a deadly shooting that happened just a couple of days ago.
Well, police say that this man, Calvin Kinzer, admitted that he shot and killed a man in the Napier area. Again, this was Sunday. It happened near the intersection of Lewis and Winfrey Street. But Kinzer says, according to police, that it was in self-defense because he says the victim shot at him first. Kinzer is currently being booked on a parole violation warrant and faces new charges of gun possession by a convicted felon. That all is according to police.
At 8:31 right now, getting a check of your forecast. For those of you who have any outdoor plans at all, whether that's walking the dog, lunch on the patio, sports with the kids later today, could not ask for a better forecast.
Not for anything. I mean, maybe do a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Have a meal
Get it all
outside.
in today.
Get a little yard work done, but then find a way to treat yourself at some point, because there will be no hour between now and sunset at 8 p.m. Do you have anything to worry about when it comes to discomfort? What's new this morning? A little bit cooler to start and a little bit cooler to end. We'll be right near 80 degrees this afternoon with no humidity, and we stay dry all the way through Friday. Isolated weekend storms. Don't think back to this past weekend. We're not going to have a stormy situation like that. This time around, there will be the ones that dot the radar on and off throughout the afternoons of both days. Let's open the door and get you moving here. May 29th. We're close to June 1st. That will be on Saturday. 68 degrees at 9, 73 at 10, and 75 beautiful degrees at 11 o'clock. A couple of clouds for curb appeal later today, but that's going to be it. Don't worry about any rain. And maybe you do want to have that outdoor lunch later today. 75 at 11, 77 at noon, and 78 degrees will be your 1 p.m. temperature. We do have a few more good days, so maybe you just can't take advantage of today. Another great one tomorrow. Upper 70s close to right near 80 degrees. Here's a little bit of a catch. Listen up if you live out in the Cumberland Plateau. up the upper elevations. You know who you are, and you know how you typically get a different forecast than folks in the Nashville area. This is one of those weeks where you're going to. Tomorrow, you will be in the middle 70s, and nighttime temperatures tomorrow night likely fall into the upper 40s. Then we're all back to right near 80 degrees for your Friday, so 83 we'll call it. And then we go back to what we're more accustomed to this time of the year. We'll go back to isolated showers and storms that move in starting on Saturday into Sunday. We're not canceling plans. I'll help you time around that rate as we get into tomorrow when we start locking down those portions of time when storms are most likely. Nighttime temperatures get warmer. The humidity increases Friday overnight into Saturday. Pollen counts will stay right where they are at today. They're in the medium category for grass and also for tree pollen. So keep that in mind if you are an allergy sufferer.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get you the very latest happening out there on I-65 at the Harpeth River Bridge. This is very close to Concord Road down there in the Brentwood area. We are dealing with several cars on the shoulder of the road. TDOT and Brentwood police out there dealing with that. They've got the outside lane shut down while they do, and that is causing you some delays. You could take Franklin Pike, that's Highway 31, as the best way to steer clear of that. As it's going to cost you around 40 minutes right now getting from Franklin into downtown. All right, a much less of an impact at this scene. This is going to be I-24 at Highway 231. This is the Shelbyville highway exit there. They've got a massive tow truck on the scene to try and get a tractor trailer out of the way. TDOT is there along with THP. Watch out for crews as you get off at the exit.
Well, happening today, Dollar General workers and advocacy groups, they are demanding safer working conditions. They are hosting a rally. It's outside of their annual shareholders meeting in Goodlettsville. So right now we're showing you a live look of those folks who are out there demonstrating, holding all the posters. We could hear the chanting earlier this morning.
Yeah, a lot of these people have been bussed into Nashville from out of state. Most of them coming to Nashville, Goodlettsville, from Louisiana. They are asking for safer working conditions and better pay. If you joined us in the last half hour, you might have heard some of these folks claiming that they're not safe when they're on the job, among other things. So they're trying to get to the people in charge at the Dollar General global headquarters there in Goodlettsville off Conference Drive. We are also working to hear from the leadership at Dollar General.
Yeah, to get their side.
Yeah, to find out what they have to say about the claims and whether anything is going to change as a result of the shareholders meeting today.
Yeah, so the woman that we heard from earlier, her name was Kenya, and she really said, hey, anyone who will listen to us and give us a response, we want answers.
Right. So again, annual shareholder meeting happening now at Dollar General, the headquarters there off Conference Drive in Goodlettsville. We also saw protests just like this last year at the shareholders meeting. So this is something that is highly coordinated and planned. We will be working to bring you more updates throughout the course of the day.
For sure. Also happening today is the ribbon cutting ceremony on a new interchange for our friends down in Spring Hill. We do want to share the details regarding this ribbon cutting ceremony for the I-65 Buckner Lane interchange. That ceremony is going to happen this morning at 10 o'clock. The interchange itself, though, opens on Friday, not today.
Correct. The Diverging Diamond interchange will provide direct access from I-65 to Spring Hill. TDOT hopes it will ease traffic in that area. And boy, I'll tell you, having driven through there several times, there's a lot of it. So TDOT says that this new interchange is going to see approximately 17,000 people a day over the next year or so. But by the time we get to, 10, 15, 20 years down the road, they're looking at about 44,000 people a day using this interchange.
Hearing that number, you just go, whoa. All right, coming up, we're going to explain what police say happened over the weekend regarding Tennessee's lakes and rivers.
And right now, a couple different looks from Nashville. Nice start to the day, even for our friends in Southern Kentucky. Blue skies and great conditions. We'll join Greg in just a couple of minutes to get a more in-depth look at your forecast.
He took money from your card.
We are covering breaking international news right now, and this story is kind of odd. I'll explain why. North Korea is finding an odd way to respond to rival South Korea. North Korea reportedly flew hundreds of these balloons carrying trash towards South Korea. It happened this morning. The South's military sent out response teams in different parts of the country because of these balloons on your screen. It appears to be retaliation for South Korean activists who are accused of flying anti-North Korean propaganda pamphlets across the border. If you want to read more, go to fox17.com. Odd story there.
Okay, so they're sending trash. All right, Erica, thank you.
State wildlife agents confirmed the death of a teenager in a Memorial Day weekend boating accident. A very sad story here, as the TWRA is reporting that Braden Hardup jumped from his boat into the Watts Bar Reservoir and did not come back up.
So sad. His body found Sunday morning. We understand at least 13 people in Tennessee have been involved in boating situations over the holiday weekend. 5 arrests made here in Middle Tennessee alone for boating under the influence.
Let's get to your weather forecast. Greg Bob is standing by with a warm Wednesday, perhaps.
That it is warm, but not hot. This is a perfect temperature, just about a degree or two below average, which is 83. So we'll clock in at 80 degrees. It's a good day to get outdoors and just enjoy it today. And please take advantage of today, because later on this week and then toward the weekend, maybe you want to go golfing. Not going to look so great Saturday and Sunday. But morning, afternoon, and evening tea times all are jam-packed with sunshine. Temperature of 68 at 9, 77 at noon, and 78 degrees at 3 p.m. So anytime you're out on the golf course will be an opportune moment here to enjoy it. Taking a look here, upcoming precipitation chances. Tomorrow looks good, Friday looks good, and then Saturday into Sunday and Monday. We cycle back into a on and off stormy pattern here each of those days. We mentioned a little bit earlier in our newscast that there is a new venture to attempt to get people down toward the Titanic to check it out. Yeah, well, here we go. Curious question today has to do with the Titanic. How many years did it take to find the wreckage of the Titanic after it sank? 71, 73, 75, or 77? I'll have the answer and your dog of the day in about 5 minutes.
Still clear traffic, starting to make some improvements out there at I-65 at the Harpeth River Bridge. This is right in the Brentwood area as you make that drive in. Less cars now than what were here a few minutes ago. Tow trucks are now in place as they're preparing to clear that crash. Still, there could be some backup, and you can use Highway 31, that's Franklin Pike, is the best way to steer clear.
Still to come here on Fox 17 News this morning, our investigative anchor Kelly Avellino with details on accusations being made by a former Nashville police lieutenant. Those details in moments.
Plus, new development coming to Antioch. We've got the very latest on Middle Tennessee's very first Chinatown. We've got that in moments.
Due to the huge success of
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. 8:45 is the time. Following strong accusations this morning by a former Metro Police lieutenant.
The allegations are that high-ranking officers work behind closed doors to get state lawmakers to pass a bill weakening police oversight boards across Tennessee.
All this coming out at a Metro Community Review Board meeting last night. Fox 17 News investigator Kelly Avellino breaking the story. Kelly, fill us in.
All right, guys, well, I can certainly tell you that it's a 60-page document detailing a series of allegations made against Metro Police, many of them having to do with police transparency and the city's police watchdog agency, the Community Review Board.
Major fallout after a retired Metro police officer sends a whistleblowing 61-page document to the Community Review Board, a civilian watchdog agency for the city. It alleges what the CRB is calling serious allegations of misconduct within MMPD's Internal Affairs Unit, the Office of Professional Accountability.
I will not sit in this meeting and pretend like we have a 61-page document that has some very serious and critical issues and not say one word about it. I refuse to do that.
The CRB tasked with overseeing citizen complaints against officers. Executive Director Jill Fitchard rejects Metro Legal's warning to keep quiet per a new state law. That law taking away much of the CRB's ability to investigate misconduct complaints independently.
Inside of the complaint are allegations of MMPD and high-ranking officials having a hand in this law. It is alleged that MMPD did work to thwart the efforts of any kind of external oversight. And so if that is the case, then I don't have confidence that OPA can investigate this in an unbiased, transparent matter.
Fox 17 News exclusively getting a portion of the 61-page document. Other allegations include officer discipline not being carried out and high-ranking officers working to undermine the authority of Kathy Morante, who heads the department's OPA.
I think that this community deserves to understand the complexity of the complaint. They need to understand some of the allegations.
The board is calling on the mayor's office for a third-party independent investigation. This after hiring their own attorney outside of Metro Legal some weeks ago.
And Metro Police did release a statement from Police Chief John Drake reading in part, the police department has been reviewing and will investigate this complaint. We will look at whether our administrative processes for internal investigation and discipline need any refinement.
Kelly, this also impacts upcoming negotiations between the Community Review Board and Metro Police. Can you explain that more?
There's a whole lot of pieces to this. So there's supposed to be a long-awaited meeting between the CRB, the police chief, and the mayor to hash out what police documents and video the CRB will be able to see in officer complaint cases. Now, that's all in light of this new law that this complaint says Metro Police had a hand in passing. The CRB believes they are entitled to much more legally than what they are receiving now. Metro Police and Metro Legal disagree with that. A lot of it has to come down with how folks interpret the law, including the mayor. Both sides now have attorneys, and I can tell you this whistleblower document is certainly putting everything into a bit more of a contentious mix here, guys.
All right, Kelly Avellino, thank you so much for your reporting. Right now in your community, developments underway for Antioch to create Nashville's first ever Chinatown. And this is happening in part due to the Chinatown Project, which says their development in Antioch will be both a tourist attraction and, they say, a local favorite, featuring an international supermarket, 10 restaurants, different shops, and an event center.
Metro Councilwoman Joy Stiles, who represents Antioch, says this particular project displays Antioch's diverse Asian population.
This is another opportunity to show everyone that Antioch is back. We are the most diverse part of town, and here's another opportunity for you to learn about one of the many cultures that live in Antioch and Southeast Nashville.
The supermarket is slated to be open by 2025, and the $27.5 million project, well, it's scheduled to be completed by 2027.
And here we are at 8:50, giving you a look at a forecast. We'll get you through your curious question first, though. How many years did it take to find the wreckage of the Titanic after it sunk? Was it 71 years, 73 years, 75, or 77 years? It was 73 years from the day, not from the day it sunk, but from the year that it sunk until they did find that wreckage. Taking a look here. Dog of the daytime. This is Picasso, big boy here, sent in by Joanne and Jim from White House. And Joanne, Jim, thank you for the picture, and get ready for a good day for a dog walk. Temperature's going to get back into the 70s here by 10 o'clock, mid to upper 70s late morning into early afternoon. Highs today right near 80 degrees. And after that, we just do it again tomorrow. We'll just kind of repeat the process. You'll wake up in the 50s like we did a couple hours ago. You'll aim for right near 80, and then middle 80s will creep in going toward the weekend. Our next storm chance is not until we make it into Saturday and Sunday.
Steer clear traffic gets us out and about this morning to I-24 and Highway 231. That is there in the Murfreesboro area. We are dealing with traffic there on the shoulder of the road. There was a large tractor trailer that was there a short time ago. Took a large, very large tow truck to get it out of there. But thankfully, we're looking much, much better now as they have cleared most of that accident. You're good to go coming in out of the Murfreesboro area. Let's check in over on the south side of town. This is going to be I-65 here at Harding Place, not too far from 100 Oaks. You can see they've got a 18-wheeler on the shoulder of the road up there. Crews have not arrived to this one yet, but when they get there, they're going to force all this traffic here to move over, and that's going to cause things to slow down. They had an earlier crash near the Harpeth River. That one has cleared.
Justin, thank you. Coming up, we're getting more details after a shooting in Laverne leaves 2 dead and 4 in custody. What police are sharing about this.
North Nashville.
Operation Crime and Justice out of Laverne. Police say 2 people were killed in a shooting. It happened at an apartment complex overnight. Police say the victims are 2 men, one 23, the other 37. We also know a 45-year-old woman is recovering from a minor gunshot wound.
As of right now, we've got 4 people in custody, but no information on their identity. This is a story we'll be reaching out to police to get updated throughout the course of the day. So make sure you tune in at 5:30 this afternoon. And in between now and then, you can head to fox17.com.
And a final check of the weather, and really, I mean, just go outside. I got nothing bad for you here. 80 degrees this afternoon, no humidity. Pollen counts are up a little bit, but not bad by any means. Just be mindful of that. Other than that, you look really nice the whole day. Enjoy it.
If somebody says get out, don't take it personally.
Always looking for ways to save you money here today.
Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.
It seems like you were just here yesterday, but I know it's been a little while.
It has.
But you got a new album.
I do.
Congratulations, Road to the Sun.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you know, it's so much fun listening to this. I was telling you before we came in studio, definitely it seems like with the lyrics and with the songwriting, you're going a little deeper with this one.
Yeah.
And you know, and it's not just all, you know, Americana or country. I mean, you know, I hear some Joni Mitchell, some folk in there.
Thank you.
How did this whole album come about?
I think it's honestly, like with my songwriting, it just continues to be that like inner but natural search
right.
for the right